Welcome back, Saints Nation. We do have some news for you. We are entering the grand finals now. Our second semifinals happened at the same time as our first one. So we have Team Iron Man moving on to the finals to face Team Moon Knight, who we just saw here. Two very, very strong teams. We haven't seen Team Iron Man, but Smoke, what really stands out to you on Team Iron Man?
Well, I mean, I think we have to point out their DPS masterclass player of Theo, a.k.a. the Holy Juan. He's definitely my one to watch on Team Iron Man. He, I'm assuming, dismantled Team Groot in the semifinals, probably, as we saw his game with Punisher, and also he plays a little bit of Squirrel Girl, which hasn't been unleashed just yet. But I think it's kind of hilarious how Squirrel Girl sometimes, as Theo likes to say, is kind of sneaky good, and is what really got him into Celestial. He really loves running it.
I mean, Smoke, I hate to actually you, but in the Marvel Comics, Squirrel Girl did beat Thanos at one point, so we do know that Squirrel Girl does have
Unbeaten,
some tricks up her sleeve, as we see here as Team Iron Man 2-0ing Team Groot to make it into the finals here. Like we said, two powerhouse teams with some star DPS players is really going to come down to the Holy Wand and somebody like Spectrum or Jeff Freak. They're really going to be the big difference makers. But how is Team Iron Man going to deal with Spooky's tank play? That's really going to be the matchup that I'm going to be looking for.
You know what? I think it's one of those things where you actually have to I don't necessarily say if you want to ignore it, but the thing is, if we've already talked about this before, whether you want to take out the Strange or the Magneto, the other one's just going to get picked instantly. And I mean, then you're not targeting any of their DPSs. We know the amount of output they can put up, and we know that there's also the Loki triple support comp that goes on in Team Moon Knight. And I don't know. I really don't have an answer for you because there's just so much to watch. I would assume maybe they'd go for the Strange, though, just to make sure that Spooky's not in his best. But, yeah.
It would be a smart pick as well, but we're going to get some insight from members of Team Moon Knight and Team Iron Man. We are joined by Jeff Freak and the Holy Juan himself. Theo, boys, how are we doing here? And look at this, Betterson McGee intimidating in the back here. Boys, how are we doing here? Jeff, Gabe, are you letting Betterson and Theo intimidate you right now?
I'm chilling.
That's it. Yeah, he's chilling. That's it. You chilling?
Feel good.
All right. Hey, we appreciate that. Now, Theo, we saw in the last one how good Gabe Jeff Freak was on his Spider-Man. You know he's going to be super, super strong in terms of backline DPS. What is your team's sort of approach and strategy to deal with somebody like that?
So our approach is to win the game by any means necessary. So we talked about draft a little bit. We have some complete cookery cooked up. I don't know if you guys are going to be ready for it, but, you know, we might see what we want to ban out game one. Will we leave that Spider-Man? Will we ban something else? I mean, we can't tell you right now, but I think it's going to be surprising what we do in the draft in game one.
I'm just going to be straight up honest here, right? I mean, you've been coming in here. I've kind of hyped you up a little bit. I know you were going to do your thing today, and so far you had a rough start to game one, but eventually Daniil learned how to use an ult in a team fight, and
Yes,
then
correct.
you guys started to roll a little further as he nods in agreement. Thank you, Daniil. I'm just going to be flat out, though, right? You guys are two great DPS players with a ton of bags of tricks. You guys are not one tricks in your own right. Who diffs who here? Look at each other in the eyes right now. Who diffs who? Who's better? Let's just get this one out of the way.
I'm better. It is what it is.
How can you explain you're better, though, Theo?
I mean, I got transferable skills. You know, rank 1 Overwatch player at one point when the cameras were off. But, I mean, I got transferable skills. I can aim. I can got game sense. I'm IGLing. Like, we're looking good. Our team's looking strong, and I think we can take it home.
And Gabe, your response to that?
Good luck, brother. I wish you could. I'm glad that you think that.
All right.
We love to see the sportsmanship here, but we have a third member of this interview who we haven't spoken to.
He can't hear you.
Theo, I know he can't hear us, but maybe Theo, maybe you can you can transcribe this question for us. What is Betterson McGee going to do to support the team with his support play? What's his secret to victory?
What are your secrets to victory in the support role?
Any means necessary.
Any means necessary. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, we heard him say that, Theo, but thank you for saying it again to us. Gentlemen, I think real quick as we get close to wrapping up this interview here, is there anything you want to say to the other one to maybe get in their head, you know, do some trash talking?
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Are you scared of my Spider-Man? As
No.
a support player?
We're not.
No?
We're
Okay.
not.
Just
We're
curious.
not. I'll be protecting my supports with my life. So under no circumstances will the Neil be going down, at least without a
I
fight.
haven't even played support. I haven't played support in like the last 5
Yeah,
games.
he's not even playing
Wait, so
support.
what do you
He's
say?
actually just 1v9 on
We're
the
dynamic.
on the tank.
Okay,
We
okay.
our roles on our team have swapped the whole day, so everyone's flexible
Interesting.
except for me. Except for
Okay.
Except for you.
Yeah. Hard stuck DPS.
Yeah.
He's good at what he does, though.
Hey, that's true. He is very good at what he does. Smoke, do you have any final questions for the boys here?
No, I don't really think so. I think we've been waiting long enough. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for this pregame interview, and we
Absolutely.
will see you on the battlefield. May the best man win.
Good luck, bro.
It's going to be all it is. And right now, Evan, there's not very much to wait around for, but I guess we can just get into some predictions right here in terms of who we have taking home the prize money and the bragging rights of the Nexus Showdown champions.
Hey, I was riding Team Moon Knight pretty hard in that first round, but I think Iron Man is going to pull it out just on vibes alone. I mean, we saw the intimidation factor from Betterson McGee, and they are coming in confident, and here they are, Team Iron Man's roster. Betterson, the Holy Juan, Wallace, Frog, Tekken John, and Milk Tussle. I mean, just an Avengers-level threat lineup here as we get a quick peek at Team Iron Man. Like we were pointing out, Holy Juan here. Anyone else on this roster that really stands out to you?
Yeah, you know what? I think that it's going to be very key to watch how the duo of supports between Frog and Betterson is. I know they said the roles were changing up, but when I was watching them in round robins, Betterson and Frog were definitely the support duo that I noted out as being very adaptive, very quick on their toes, and easy on-the-fly decision making. And I think that for them, the X factor is going to be, can you keep Spectrum on that Psylocke away? Because we saw time and time again, whether you want to push the tempo or whether he just says, you know what, screw it, I'll do it myself, no one's been able to find an answer to him, and that's going to be something that I think Team Iron Man, they're going to have a little bit of a struggle with, especially because I was noting the supports that I was seeing earlier. I was seeing a lot of Rocket. I was seeing a lot of Mantis as well. There's not a whole lot of people who can, I guess, output a ton of healing in a short amount of time. I get it. Yes, survivability is good. Rocket has the movement. Mantis has the sleep. But if you drain Mantis with no sleep and then the Psylocke dives back, what can you really do? They nerf Mantis' speed quite a lot, and I think that she's kind of, as a support, fallen off a little bit.
No, you're right. And I think in that situation, if you don't have any of that from Mantis, you just have to pray. I think in that situation, you just have to pray. But Team Moon Knight, definitely not a slouch. We saw in that last round. We're going to reintroduce the team for the folks at home. And here they are again. Jeff Freak, Spooky, Haze, Spectrum, Frost, and Henzo. We already talked about how good Spooky and Spectrum are at their respective roles. But don't forget, Jeff Freak is... if he gets on that Spider-Man, that's going to be really tough to deal with. And Frost and Henzo pulling it back up with Hayes as an off-support player. We know the game they like to play. They like the 3-support meta with the 1 tank. Just let Spooky cook, whatever he wants to do on tank here. So if Team Iron Man wants to get anything going here, they have to be prepared to play against a 3-support meta.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I look at Team Moon Knight, the problem is with both Jeff Freak and Spectrum being just so good and having displays of talent that have just been unmatched so far today, I think it becomes really hard on who you want to target, right? Yeah, we saw last time Team Hulk, they banned out Jeff Freak's Spider-Man, but I don't even think that was necessarily the route to go, because then hops on the Bucky and does, well, maybe not as good, but that's because the game wasn't going for too long. Arguably, if you take the pacing, on par, if not better, so it didn't really matter in the long run, especially because the Psylocke is still on a solo dive and is finding everything of their value. So it doesn't necessarily matter whether they want to go double dive or they have one on Brawl and the Psylocke dive in. It was working regardless. And I think that if you get into that loop of maybe target banning the DPSs, that's where you kind of fall, because you leave the Loki, you leave the Luna for the supports to handle, and you leave that Doctor Strange on the board for Spooky. I think the move here is to ban the Strange for Spooky, and you basically just gotta hope for the best after that.
No, it really is a pick your poison type situation. any ban that you can't plan for every single thing that's going to happen. You know that Team Moon Knight is going to have something up their sleeves where they're going to be able to play against these bans, and they're probably already thinking ahead. It's like, okay, like if they ban Strange, we're going to do this, or if they decide to take out Spider-Man, we have 2 or 3 other options ready and waiting. So it really is going to be coming down to who is going to be able to execute better, and it might just depend on the map too. I mean, like, bans are also very dependent on the map you're
Yes.
playing, and if you start on attack or defense, so that is going to play into it as well. This is going to be a best of 5, so this does have a chance to go to a lengthy series here. So, you know, whatever team is going to win has to be ready to have a bit of endurance, potentially, to get to the end of this. It's already been a long day of tournament, but I think both teams are ready to go.
Absolutely. You know what? If it's a team that, if anything, has faced a little bit of adversity coming into it, it's actually been Team Iron Man, because I was watching them in the round robins. They didn't do good on their first matchup. Team Moon Knight, they only had 1 point where they started to kind of crumble, but then they fixed it, and it's been easy steamrolling ever since. I really want to see what happens if Team Moon Knight starts feeling pressure, starts feeling that adversity, how their mental change is going to be. Because we've seen how Team Iron Man can operate under poor mental, but we haven't seen how Team Moon Knight can operate under poor mental, resulting in a loss of a game. And I think at the end of the day, that is one of the untold key factors about a game like Marvel Rivals, or just esports in general. It is a lot more mental than skill dependent. And I think that that is an element that we haven't quite seen on Showcase today yet.
No, exactly. I mean, Team Moon Knight definitely had the easier of the 2 pools, so their path to the finals wasn't as challenging as Team Iron Man. Team Iron Man had to go through a bit of a gauntlet to get to where they are now, so you could say that, you know, maybe they've earned it just that little bit extra, but like you said, both teams, you know, have to be ready to face that mental, that challenge, right? Like you said, 2 you know, both teams getting 2-0 in the semifinals, you know, not really facing that large adversity that, you know, other teams might have faced in the earlier parts of the tournament. So it's going to come down to who was able to stay mentally strong as well as executing in the game. It's going to be really, really exciting. I think, like we said, I know we did our predictions already, but this one really could go either way, I think.
Yeah, you know what? I think overall, yes, I am saying that Team Iron Man may have like that mental advantage just because I know how they act when they are down. But at the same time, when we're talking about versatility, I think that Team Moon Knight just simply has too many good things going for them. So if it was me to predict right now, I'm going to go ahead and say Team Moon Knight takes it. But I will say in 3-1 fashion. I think that Team Iron Man will be able to get a set off of them, and that's going to be everything for Team Moon Knight, because that is going to prove right then and there how they operate when they don't go flawless.
Well, I'm going to play contrarian here, and I am going to take Team Iron Man. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think it's going to be a 3-2. I think they are going to push it to a Game 5. I think this one is going to go the distance, but I think Team Iron Man is going to pull it through. Like we were talking with Theo and Daniil in the interview. They're coming in confident. It sounds like they have some tricks up their sleeve in terms of changing around roles, you know, maybe throwing the members of Team Moon Knight off a little bit, and here we are. Teams are just ready to get set up here. Look at the Holy One just getting comfortable here. It's really hot in that room that they're playing in, and they're just getting completely comfortable as Team Moon Knight also getting set up. The boys looking locked in right now as we await the start of this Grand Finals. The long-anticipated Grand Finals of this Nexus Showdown, I think, is getting set up here for this final game, and here it is. Here we go as we get into the ban phase, starting on Yggdrasil, Convoy on Yggdrasil. Very, very tough one, I think, but a good payload map, I would say. I think this is probably one of the community's fan favorite maps in terms of which ones we like. Here we go. I think might have to reset because we didn't get the bans started, so it's going to be just a little bit longer here. And Smoke, just kind of walk me through, like, just kind of like a last minute, like, thoughts of bans. What do you think Iron Man is going to prioritize in their banning?
So I think they're going to prioritize banning away Spooky Strange, but at the same time, I think that the pick is immediately going to come in from the Magneto. You obviously don't want to have Spooky on one tank that isn't one of those 2 powerhouses. We've seen him have so much success, whether it be on one or the other, especially in that first game that we saw. He was switching back and forth, and it worked out either way. So that's, I think, what's going to have to be a key factor, is you at least want him to be forced onto one character. and then from there you can start kind of picking and poking on what lineups you think would work well against that Magneto. Another thing that you have to watch out for, though, if you're Team Moon Knight, is you got to deal with the tank of Team Iron Man, and I've been seeing a lot of the same things. It's just kind of been a little bit of strange here and there. I've seen a little bit of the thing when they get into brawl scenarios, but at the same time, when you're up against a team like Team Moon Knight, we've seen people try to take brawl scenarios into fights with them. We've seen it with the Captain America, with the Thor, right? And then with the Thing in that game too. It did not work. So I think that when you really look at Team Iron Man, it's again going to be the same thing. You ban Strange away from them, and then what do you have? I don't know. Not a winning equation, at least proven thus far. Brawl hasn't really worked against Team Moon Knight because of the comp that they run. So what do you do from there? Do you bring out a Magneto of your own? I haven't seen their tank. I haven't seen John on a Magneto yet today, so I really have no clue how that would work out for them. But it seems like they're actually going to bring the double tank lineup, and they have Milk Tussler on the Magneto as well. So I guess they are prepared, but I want to see what goes down, and that's a great ban from Team Iron Man as they immediately take out the Loki, so no double support ults coming through. The Groot gets banned out as well. That's really interesting considering none of their tanks were even on that to start.
Well, from what I was told from the back room is that they had to reset this lobby from an error that had occurred, so they're going to be picking those same picks and bans. So they've already been premeditated in this case, so they've already had time to think about their strategies. Doctor Strange being saved, huge for Spooky. We know that's going to be his insta-lock, and then Namor being saved for Team Iron Man. It looks like Holy Juan, it looks like Theo is going to be trying to lock down that Namor. Going to be interesting. We have not seen Namor yet on stream. That's another very, very strong DPS character, as there's Bucky and Luna Snow taken off the board as well. Some, like we said, some very high impact characters for Team Moon Knight especially. So we're going to see how they can respond to those characters being taken out. Jeff Freak deciding to play that Spider-Man. Mr. Oz thinking about Adam Warlock. He might change his mind, but Adam Warlock, we saw huge Adam Warlock plays from earlier on Spider Island, so maybe we can get some replication of that success.
Right, I mean, that was actually being used against them, if you remember. That was Team Hulk that was doing that, so maybe a little bit of inspiration going down, but as things stand, we are getting into game very shortly. The Namor pick actually is very supportive of Theo, as I know he's running the Punisher right now. I've been seeing that all day, but what I will say is, I was talking to Theo earlier, he is very comfortable on that Namor coming in.
Yeah, he is really comfortable. It seems like he's really comfortable on any DPS. We heard what he said. He is so confident.
He's very versatile.
Very versatile, very confident, especially with DPS. We know he has those transferable skills from Overwatch. I think a lot of Overwatch pros find this game to be a good one to swap into. And we are going to swap into our gameplay here as we get into our first match of Domination. It's going to be Odin's Archive. Not a fan favorite first map, I think. This is probably one of the domination points that most people in the community maybe loathe to fight against, because you got this very open room with these, sort of platforms that get in the way. Not great for these really big team fights that this game likes to set up with.
Right, well, I was going to say, I wonder how people are going to do with the vertical control, the top-down fights, but especially on Odin's Archive, or the Throne Room, the Archive, it's going to be the Doctor Strange ult that to me has the biggest effect here. That Eye of Agamotto can literally trap anyone who's on the point at that time, but as we get into things, it's going to be Adam Warlock with the first pick. That's Theo already going down. He said he wasn't going to lose his life in order to protect his supports, but as we can see, that notion is already not very true of itself. Miltos right now on the mags. It's just a shield v shield matchup. That can be very much of what you're going to expect here, because again, Team Iron Man, they have the, privilege of running both the Magneto and the Doctor Strange. So that's going to be very interesting to see. We haven't seen a team run 2 tank against Team Moon Knight yet on stream. So or at least 2 shielded tanks against them on stream. So I really wonder how that's going to affect them.
Yeah, you're going to want to look to see Jeff Freak really get in there and disrupt those tanks and create some spacing for those other DPS characters to get in here, as Spooky almost going down, but Mantis being able to save him, as Spectrum trying to get in there as the members of Team Ironman trying to slowly push onto this point. Just about 50% capture progress for Team Moon Knight. They've had a great start, but here is the Holy Juan leading the charge with that Punisher ult, and that is going to lead to a full push from Team Ironman. And it looks like they are going to take this point pretty easily, but having to use a couple ults to get it.
Well, the Holy Juan, there's no amount of rounds that he can't fire as the Punisher is able to find almost every pick that he needs. Adam Warlock able to just stay back and get alive in that situation. But at the same time, this is something that's very interesting. I wonder how they're going to deal with Spectrum, and you see it right there. The Punisher, that shotgun, does so much damage. That's something that we haven't seen today used against that Psylocke, and I wonder, that's going to be the name of the game, is that Psylocke V shotgun close range from Punisher.
As we see, Holy Juan taking out Jeff Freak
Over
as
the
well,
DPSs.
doing all the work with that shotgun here. We were talking about how good Theo is on those DPS characters. This is going to be a matchup we're going to be watching out for, is that Punisher versus Spectrum. And a Jeff Freak, as more ults continue to come out. They are undefeatable, says Wallace Sanchez, as the members of Team Ironman. And there is Hayes to pop a Mantis ult of his own to try and save face for Team Moon Knight. That Vishanti's power can't find anybody. It's Jeff Freak with his ult. Oh my goodness, looking for the fifth one there. Hayes finishing off Milk Tussler as Team Moon Knight retakes control of the point. Huge ult from Jeff Freak to stop that progress for Team Ironman.
Especially when you look at the ults they were able to save. You have the Cloak and Dagger, you have the Psylocke, and you have the Adam Warlock. If anything goes dire, you can automatically res Spooky the second he goes down, if that even is something you want to worry about. But here we go. Psylocke ult burned. It's going to be the Holy Juan who gets rid of the Strange for now. Sorry, as Jeff Freak goes down, and Theo is on a rampage, finds the Adam Warlock as well, so no reses can come down left, and you're wondering if they're maybe just saving this for another team fight. Only 57% right now for Team Ironman, so you will have another chance to touch. You have to think this is the opportune moment, but right now, everyone is dumping everything from Team Ironman. They have a Theo ult that they can rely on. The Punisher is saving, and same with Mags, but right now they have their point, they have their overtime, and they have control.
Yeah, that was a great take from Ironman here. Tech and John just coming in with those two huge kills from Doctor Strange, showing that, you know, Spooky isn't the best Doctor Strange player in this lobby. You know, I also have something to say about that, as another C&D ults come out of this one here, as Team Ironman looking to secure this one at 99%. They're trying to get back here. Here is Holy Juan. He does have ult in pocket. You know he's going to be looking out for this one, but here is another Spectrum ult that doesn't find anybody, but Judge, Jury, Executioner from Theo is going to find Spectrum, but Jeff Freak shuts him down before he does too much damage here. And there is Henzo finding Tech and John. That is going to do it. Team Moon Knight survives after a very late push from Team Ironman. They are one round away from taking a 1-0 lead in the series.
But you know what, I'll go ahead and say it immediately. I think that's the closest I've seen them at least get contested in terms of DPS capability, because the Holy Juan on the Punisher able to find multiple picks on that Spider-Man, multiple picks on that Psylocke, because when you dive that back line, the Punisher has that shotgun that can just rinse through so quickly, and we see, I believe, a sneak peek of why they saved that Namor pick. I believe Theo's looking at choosing that character right about now.
Yeah, I'd really love to see what he can do with Namor. I mean, we saw how good he was with Punisher, so I'm only expecting greatness here, but, you know, Team Ironman definitely not out of this fight yet. Just needed a couple team fights to go your way here. Some of those ults on the side. This was absolutely huge here. If Jeff Freak doesn't shut down Theo there, doesn't shut down Holy Juan, that is an absolutely devastating ult that would have ruined that push here as we get into the Bifrost Garden outside. Beautiful Asgard, a nice sunny day as both teams converge on this point. Team Moon Knight looking to wrap this one up here. Team Ironman looking to extend this one. Betterson McGee opening up the scoring with a pick onto Jeff Freak here, as Spooky already having that Eye of Agamotto. That's going to be huge in deciding the winner of these early team fights.
Well, you know what? Spectrum was able to get the job done against the Punisher when it mattered, especially in that last team fight on the ult. So you have to think that the Holy Juan, he's trying to retaliate with his own, but Jeff Freak is finding multi-kill after multi-kill. Not common that you see that on the Spider-Man, but he's making it work. Let's have another look at that as well. Absolutely beautiful play there from Jeff Freak as he confirms the point for his team.
Yeah, Jeff Freak really taking over here. I mean, very soft-spoken in that pre-game interview, but he has that confidence too. He has that dog in him. I'm saying it right now. He is doing it all for Team Moon Knight. Just the antithesis of, of just bad play here as looking spooky here, trying to stall out the members of Team Iron Man from getting too close. That's John taking out Spectrum as Jeff Freak going into dive again, trying to find that pick. Can't find it as Strange does manage to get away. A Mantis ult does get popped out here as Wallace trying to get onto this point here. Members of Team Iron Man trying to chip away. They are going to cap as they push the members of Team Moon Knight off, but Team Moon Knight having a bunch of ults to play with, going to try and regroup and reset to take that point here as Spectrum out of position here as Iron Man trying to play for that stagger to set up on their own as here's Jeff Freak trying to dive in as well. Milk Tussler dueling with Hayes. Isn't going to find him as Hayes pulls back. Reinforcements are here, and that is another Psylocke ult for Spectrum coming out. Does find one support for Team Iron Man, but a Sue Storm ult is going to be dropped in response to stop Team Moon Knight from pushing up too far.
Well, you know what the thing is that when Theo switches onto this Psylocke, you really have to look at the team right now that they're running. They're also having the magic, so double dive, it doesn't mean that you're going to be helping your supports anymore. This is just going to be a simple race of which dive works better, how many supports can kill who, and immediately the Psylocke diff comes through. Spectrum with one, Doctor Strange with two, Spooky proving that they maybe should have, maybe thought about banning that Strange out. But as it stands right now, it is Team Moon Knight with control. And again, I think I'm very confident right now in what I've seen so far. The Spider-Man ult goes through it, finds one. Nothing really too much more, but he's going to be able to, just as I say that, snipe out the second support. And that's the thing. You have the Psylocke. There's no more help right now for your supports. It's just the race of the dive. And that is going to stall Team Iron Man so much.
Man, good Spider-Man players are just scary, bro. How do you stop that? How do you stop somebody who is so mobile and just so quick with all of his moves here? And look at him just waiting like a spider in his web, waiting for his prey as we're going to behold John. He is morphed into the child, trying to find some picks here to push Team Moon Knight off the point. Betterson McGee cleaning up Jeff Freak here as Team Iron Man racking up more score for the percentage. This one very, very close. This is definitely the closest we've seen Team Moon Knight just in an absolute dogfight here on this Bifrost Garden point as C&D ults coming out with the Magneto ult. Milk Tussler, huge ult, dunking on that Cloak and Dagger before she gets set up too far here. Milk Tussler trying to clear Hayes out of the point, but Mr. Oz is waiting in the wings. He has that ult ready in case a bunch of his teammates go down.
Look at how many ults they have right now for Team Moon Knight. You can have the Psylocke, you just use the Mantis, and all of a sudden you have the Adam Warlock ult you can rely on as well, but you need to contest. And here it is, the Psylocke goes down, it finds one, the res comes through from Warlock, and all of a sudden Spectrum as well. It's the team up between the Mantis. The Mantis rests herself from the Warlock team up and finds the magic. So it's a great job there of sustaining, using that team up from the Guardians, and it's going to be able to secure the point, maybe for the last time if they can't touch, for Team Moon Knight.
Yeah, Team Moon Knight is going to look to play very, very aggressive here. They don't want Team Iron Man to even sniff that point here. Team Iron Man having that Mantis ult in the back pocket, nothing else to work with. There it is, getting popped out, but the Agamotto coming in huge as Ethan gets taken out. Spectrum getting one. Wallace taking out Hayes, but somehow Team Iron Man pushed off the point. Team Iron Man, unbelievable, somehow having a chance to save this round for them. It's all up to Spectrum. How many can he find? And Jeff Freak going absolutely crazy on the point. That's magic. That is it. Team Moon Knight securing map 1 after an incredible duel on Domination Asgard. What more could you want? This is Marvel Rivals, baby. This is what we're playing for.
You would have thought it was all over. Somehow Team Iron Man, they withstand the Eye of Agamotto, but they waste Too many resources, and it allows the window for Jeff Freak on the Spider-Man to have the game-securing ult that is absolutely pivotal in locking down map number 1 for Team Moon Knight. Great stuff there, as we see sometimes the DPSs, they just end up being on full display. You thought you had an answer from the Holy Juan going on to the Punisher. Team Moon Knight, they were just able to survive long enough to confirm first point, but the second the switch comes through and the dive race happens, there's no one who can dive faster with more pace and survivability potentially than a Spider-Man that knows what he's doing.
You know what? I think I understand what J. Jonah Jameson is talking about. Jeff Freak Spider-Man is absolutely a menace in the game right now, doing so much for his team. Really, I think he has to be the MVP for Team Moon Knight here. I mean, but look at this, Holy Juan again. We know how deadly he is with Punisher. Was doing a lot of work here, but it really is Jeff Freak who is the star of the show here. I mean, just everywhere on the map where his team needed to be. Him and Spectrum again locking down those 2 DPS positions for Team Moon Knight, and their aggressiveness was the key to their victory, being able to stagger out the members of Team Iron Man here. Spooky with a huge double on that Dark Magic Expulsion. Look at this here, and gonna find Magneto as well. But yeah, Jeff Freak here, look at that. This pull here, big ult in the back line here. Just what more can you say about his exceptional play?
Well, you know what? I feel like we've been talking about him a lot, and the reason being is definitely for good cause, but I think something that we haven't really been talking about is, other than the Holy Juan, what other people on Team Iron Man have been doing. Now, don't get me wrong, yes, they've lost map 1, but this is easily the closest we've seen Team Moon Knight to being contested. You look at plays that John was making, right? Finding those backlines. He was diving effectively. The Holy Juan, you know, was getting results in. It just so happened that Spider-Man was faster at that. Milk Tussler, we saw him shut down that C&D ult on point. I really thought that was a huge pivotal moment right there for Team Iron Man, but they just could not get the job done in the very end, and it was all put in note by Jeff Freak on that Spider-Man.
Jeff Freak, I mean, what more can we say? I mean, we've been saying his name a lot. You know, we interviewed him before. You know, he's showing that quiet confidence, and it is really, really paying off here. Jeff Freak, 21 kills, but Spectrum still leading the way in terms of frags for Team Moon Knight with 30. Spooky coming in 3rd place for their team with 18. Looking on the side of Team Iron Man, lots of, you know, no slouches on that side either. Holy Juan leading the charge with 24, doing his job on DPS. John at 20 and 6 with Doctor Strange. You know, even out DPS'd Spooky on Doctor Strange. I mean, like,
yeah, you know, like it's a close game looking at it from stats. Honestly, the thing is, right? I think with Spectrum, the problem is the Mantis also helps so much because you have that Inspire that can just up the amount of damage. So whether it's being put onto Spectrum or whether it's being put onto that Spider-Man when he's using the ults, which is what I would think is the biggest seller, as we see Spectrum's now officially hit 100% vibes. He didn't even have to win yet to do it, so who knows, this guy might just be unstoppable. But back to the point I was making, I think that with the Inspire from Mantis that can be given to that Psylocke, that can be given to that Spider-Man before the ult happens. No, 20 kills for Jeff Freak, right? It wasn't like he was going through and getting picks all the time. The thing was, it was the huge multi-kills that generated from his ult that were able to put them over the edge. But if we want to talk about consistency of picks and a ability to output massive damage constantly, it's the fact that that Mantis probably had that Inspire on the Psylocke for pretty much the entire duration of the match, barring if Spider-Man had his ult in pocket.
And not even a bad choice either. I mean, like, it really is a no-brainer. I mean, when your Psylocke is just going absolutely crazy, it really is a no-brainer on who to give that buff to. So we're going to see if Team Iron Man has anything to respond with. If they have any further tricks up their sleeve. I don't think this is going to be the end of them. I don't think Theo or Daniil are going to let this be the end of them. They definitely have some plans to deal with, you know, the hardcore DPS of Team Moon Knight as we see them discussing their strategy as we get into round 2. Map 2, it's going to be Convoy. It's going to be a Convoy map here, so going to be a switch of tempo, going to be a switch of pace here what are you going to want to see out of Team Iron Man if they have a shot at tying this series? What do they need to do?
Well, you know what? As much as I would like to give some input, I'm honestly, I'm on a blank slate right now. Do you target ban Spectrum Psylocke? Do you go for the Spider-Man? We know Jeffrey can just go back onto the Bucky. It's a dangerous game right now. I don't think there's enough bans that you can really put out in order to deal with this team. They're just so versatile. I think from the Holy Juan, we were seeing more success, I want to say, when he was on the Punisher, yet as well as the fact that they were also able to prove a longer standing when he was on the dive. So I really don't know what to tell you, but from what I can see, it seems like Team Moon Knight are repping the brand strong, as all of them are looking to see who can get there first.
We love to see teams repping the brand as first couple bans pop out. Loki and Groot. I don't think seeing Loki being banned is anything of a surprise. We know how devastating Loki can be, especially with duplicating those support ults. And again, no surprise as Team Moon Knight electing to save Doctor Strange. Spooky gets to stay on his main. Definitely could be a difference maker, but like we saw last game, John doing really good on Strange in response. So we're going to see what the game plan will be as Team Iron Man electing to save Luna Snow. Just such a huge character, critical support character, mainstay, and there is the response. That is the response, but we know Spectrum does have answers. He's not a Psylocke one-trick, so that doesn't necessarily take him out of the game by removing Psylocke from the board.
But it'll definitely be interesting to see who he picks into in response. Namor gets banned out because he saw that Team Iron Man picked into him last time, so you'd maybe think what gets chosen, and there it is, the tried and true for Team Moon Knight. Spectrum confirming the Moon Knight locked in, which makes sense when you're defending on Convoy, and this is going to be a hell of a series, especially if you're defending on Convoy and Jeffrey picks into a Spider-Man.
I mean, no surprise there. I mean, like, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who he was going to insta-lock here. Hayes. Like,
no, are we going to get...
Oh, no, he changed his mind
teasing
last second, teasing us with a possible Jeff the Shark appearance, but not so.
Would have made Wide happy.
It would
have definitely made Wide happy, but at the end of the day, you're trying to see if you can confirm a series, and Jeff the Land Shark doesn't really work in a double support comp. You really have to run the triple in order to make that happen, and I think that for Team Moon Knight, they don't really want to be mucking about too much. The reason why I say it's interesting is because, obviously, with Jeff Freak, Spider-Man on defense on Convoy, maybe not the best pick in theory, but are you really going to go against what the man's shown us so far? I'd say you'd be a fool to do so. So, in this case, it's been very interesting to me to see how this has worked out, but without further ado, Game 2 of our Grand Finals. Let's have at it.
Yeah, Spooky right on that front line. Jeff Freak trying to dive in quickly, having to retreat right away here as John electing to go with Penny
on attack.
Wow. Definitely a very interesting off-meta pick here. You don't usually see Penny Parker on payload attack, so we're going to see what John has cooking up with that idea there. Maybe that is the spark and the difference maker that they need here. Team Moon Knight trying to defend as best they can. Hayes finding a pick onto Holy Juan. That's Storm out of the game here. Adam Warlock getting some buffs recently. Now going from like a D tier support character to more like an A or a B tier. Really strong stuff. We've seen some great Adam Warlock play today. So we'll see if Hayes can keep that streak going. But here is Milk Tussler trying to tussle with the big boys, the big tanks of Team Moon Knight here, getting support from John in the form of Penny Parker here, but Jeff Reek just kind of doing his own thing on the flank here, not really making an impact yet, but there is a big impact from the Holy Juan. That is a big storm all coming in. Spooky getting CC'd out of his eye. Bagamoto here, Jeff Freak finding Ethan on the support here, and there is the Adam Warlock all coming out. Does go down, but Spectrum gets rezzed immediately. A couple more ults coming out. That Magneto ult doesn't find purchase. Luna Snow coming out on the side of Betterson McGee, trying to get the payload pushed up that much farther. Spectrum trying to hold off these members of Team Iron Man. That's another Storm ult that was going to come out, but John CCing Storm out of that ult. We've already seen some incredible plays with that CC as the members of Team Moon Knight trying to portal in to stop this push from Team Iron Man.
Well, you know what? You were wondering what the penny was going to be used for. We found our answer. It's purely for the CC on ultimates like the Storm, like the Eye of Agamotto. It's a complete counter that we didn't even really think about coming into it. We just kind of looked at the fact that it was on attack, and I was like, well, maybe you set up to counter the dive with the Spider's Nest. Maybe that's where you can put your healers. But at the same time, I don't know, you're keeping them in one place, so it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. And picking it just for the CC is definitely risky, but so far it's paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right about that. It really has paid off. And maybe that off-meta pick has thrown Team Moon Knight off just a little bit here, because Team Iron Man has been very, very strong in their attack. Not a great defense from Team Moon Knight here. They need to win at least one team fight if they want to start digging their heels in on defense here as we head around this second big corner here. Jeffrey on the flank again, but Holy Juan sniffing that out, eliminating him quickly before he can do too much damage. Can't let Holy Juan get cooking on that Hella. We know how strong she can be, especially at mid to long ranges. And with somebody like Holy Juan, you know he's not going to miss any of those shots.
Well, especially because Holy Juan in his Overwatch days is a hit scan main. I mean, it doesn't really even matter who he plays. He's just insane with aim in general, so having him on the Hella is definitely got to be dangerous. But as it stands right now, you got to assume multiple ults are going to be dumped in here. Here we go with the Mantis. It's going to be a second one being dumped out here, surely. You can't just let a Mantis ult go unanswered. And it seems like that's exactly what's going to happen. The Magneto ult and the Cloak and Dagger ult coming out at the same time. Picks come through. Jeff finds one as well with the Spider-Man ult, but all of a sudden he's going to go down very soon. However, he's still alive on 3 HP, mind you. Finally goes down, and because of the Penny ult, it engages the team onto the payload. It drives everybody else out. You can't sit in there for long, and it confirms the second point with haste for Team Iron Man.
With haste, indeed. They have wasted absolutely no time in establishing their dominance on this first convoy round here, as Spooky trying to get something going here. Does have his ult to play with. Team Moon Knight does have a few ults in their pocket if they want to get something going here, but you have to watch out. Betterson McGee with that Luna Snow ult that does come out as well. Going to keep that push going just that little bit farther as a Moon Knight they're not moving payload right now. They get back on it as Spectrum is armed and dangerous, trying to find those picks.
Huge
Agamotto combo. We saw that earlier. Does work out for them, stalling out Team Iron Man for the first time, and he is going to get that again. Another one in his pocket for Spectrum. Great use of that ult from Spectrum, and still managing to say it. He ults it again, just getting back to his team. This is the first time we've seen Moon Knight on the defense, really, as Team Iron Man's push stalls out for the first time.
Yeah, you know what, they've done a very good job of forcing the aggression, but you gotta think right now with the Star-Lord pick coming through from Jeff Freak, how is this going to change it? Adam Warlock, you see it going down, the ult, and now everything is soul bonded. The reses will come through. Hella Unleashed as well from the Hella is going to find one. Can he find a second? Yes! Theo is absolutely cooking. Finds two. Can definitely get a third as well. And you've definitely got your bang from your buck there.
Yeah, he did. That Adam Warlock ult didn't really do much to help save Team Moon Knight from that one, as Jeff Freak is legendary. Finds one pick, looking for a second one, but huge shield. Didn't get it in time, but does have that cocoon to get back into the fight. You know he is going to get res. He isn't taking out that Adam Warlock Star-Lord team up. So good at keeping members of the Guardians of the Galaxy in that fight, as the members of Team Iron Man trying to get back onto this payload. They had such a strong control over it earlier, but now Team Moon Knight is really starting to dig their heels in and push them back a little bit. Here's Milk Tussler trying to lead the charge, getting Spooky. That is Spooky going down. Huge pick for Team Iron Man as they look to keep this push going. But Jeff Freak waiting in the wings with Star-Lord, waiting for those stragglers to come out. Fear Magneto as he tries to fire his ult, does find Cloak and Dagger as they're ulting. Team Iron Man keeping this push going as John has his ult in play, throwing those spider mines down. Is going to ult that path out. Holy Juan finding Haze again. Milk Tussler getting out of Warlock, and now Team Iron Man just right at the precipice of victory here, but more ults having to come out late. Switch
Here it is.
by Spectrum to Venom as Penny Parker is setting up her spider mines on the payload here. Going to be very difficult for Team Moon Knight to get into this
take the
area.
entire area.
Take the entire area out of play, and that is going to do it. Team Iron Man, a very aggressive 3-0 pick, flawless on this first round of Convoy.
Well, you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, this one just got interesting. Theo on Hela is simply unmatched. They have to find an answer for it. The Star-Lord didn't work out. You couldn't dive it into it necessarily. There's just too much. She has that nade you can throw down that sucks you in, and then also the two birds to escape. And honestly, this one was just a Penny Parker and Theo masterclass. Don't get me wrong, the whole team did value, but I gotta say, this is the first time I really have seen Spectrum and Jeff Freak get shut down.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they do something that we didn't, picking that Penny Parker, because really that was the huge difference maker in this game. That aggression, as well as the ability to CC some of these major ultimates, was so key to getting Iron Man set up in this position in the first place, because again, they had this aggressive push at the start, and it didn't really look like anyone was going to be able to stop them until like the very end when Moon Knight started to wake up a little bit. But Team Iron Man just showing that they have some shooters, and they're going to hit their shots. I mean, but now it's the time for Moon Knight to respond and see if they can go band for band, bar for bar with Team Iron Man to get this one pushed into an overtime.
And you know, something I didn't really think about was when you look at two of the checkpoints, the last two being on attack, they're really just circles, and with two paths out, right? Especially when we're talking about last and spawn, that's ground that Penny can just take and confirm, so maybe that's the reason why as well. Penny has a good ult on this map, technically, if you really want to break it down and think about it, plus the CC. It's worth enough in my book, and it's been working out so far, but right now, how can Team Iron Man do on the defense? And that's a huge factor. I wanted to see how the Bucky was going to handle that Hela, and you see it right there. It's going to be all on that grapple. CC comes out as well, and all of a sudden, Team Iron Man, they start coming back into it, but you have to assume that with the near spawn and the fact that this Hela can be countered out by the Bucky, it's going to be very interesting to see how Team Moon Knight goes.
Well, it looks like Team Moon Knight is trying to be as aggressive as Team Iron Man was in that first round here. Not working as well as it was for Team Iron Man here, because now you have Penny where she really shines on defense, especially on this first corner. Those mines and those spider nests are so deadly in making the path to that first checkpoint as difficult as possible, and especially comboing it with those CC abilities that she does have. But watch out, because Jeff Freak does have his ult in his pocket, and you know he's going to be looking to use it, looking for that juicy angle. Not going to get found there as Milk Tussler takes him out as Magneto, as members of Team Moon Knight contesting with Iron Man on this payload, not moving it any closer, as John and Milk Tussler are really leading the charge with these two tanks here and pushing Team Moon Knight off the payload.
Yeah, and you know what, again, this is just something that we haven't seen yet. This is what I wanted to know, was when they get a map taken off of them, what does Team Moon Knight do? How do they react? And we're seeing right now, as far as it stands, it's sort of in the middle ground. We're kind of seeing some pushback, but not having it really be roll over, and it's just really just confirming to me that at the very least in this grand final, we are definitely seeing the best two teams go at it.
No, absolutely, it is the very two best. Spectrum trying to find some purchase with his ult, doesn't get any because of that Betterson McGee Luna Snow ult, saving the team as Holy Wands. Hell is being unleashed here, but Betterson McGee going down. Theo finding one, looking for more, does find
Huge.
2 and 3, absolutely huge. A fourth one for Team Iron Man. They retake control of the payload, just having to clear out the last two members, but not going to work out, as Spooky managing to save this push. But the members of Team Iron Man come straggling in, as here we go. There is the Jeff Freak. Oh, he has it again. There it is, looking for a second one. Misses that uppercut. Needs to get a pick here if he wants to get a second charge. Isn't going to find it. Oh my goodness. Team Iron Man having to rush back to the point as quickly as possible. Not going to get there to stop them from getting this checkpoint here. But more work is required for Team Moon Knight. They are 2 checkpoints away from tying it.
Well, you know what? I will say, they have a lot of time to do so. They just need to make sure they continuously keep moving. You have a stop like that again from Team Ironman, and you know, all of a sudden you're not really looking too good when you have to convert onto your third point. But as it stands right now, it is going to be the pull from the Bucky. We've seen it work so long. That really is their opener. And if it can't land, sometimes we see them have to draw back. There it is, though. It's going to be Miguel on that Sue, finds the penny, and this should open up the playing field a little bit. We have the Eye of Agamotto being able to get used out, and because there's no CC from the penny to stop it, because she's dead and making her way back to point, you have to think it's going to be used soon, at least before the penny can get back, but I think it's a little too late now.
Yeah, Spooky does need to get in there if he wants to use it, but that C and D ult from Frog is huge, and there is that Eye of Agamotto. Does find Penny Parker, but Team Iron Man countering with the Luna Snowball immediately. Huge ult from Spectrum here. Holy Juan Theo trying to find as many as he can before he gets taken out by Star-Lord. Finds 3 members of Team Moon Knight. Team Iron Man retaking control of the payload, stopping Moon Knight in their tracks as they slowly push them back. Huge, huge ult from the Holy Juan to make that stop.
And it's almost as if every time he goes into Hell Unleashed, it's as if he just puts the brakes on everything. And it's not even the fact that he's making them have to fall back. He's just straight up finding kill after kill after kill. The fact that we have a Strange here who could be shielding as well, it doesn't matter. Theo plays around it. You can only protect so much at one time. And now Jeff finds one, ult as well, but because of the pre-debris getting spawned back in, you have to take the longer route. All of a sudden you have to wonder, when is the penny going to use that ultimate? Needs to get at least sustained, but blind for now is going to be the end of John. And now all of a sudden, pushing through, 1:27 left to go, and they're looking more than fine as Team Moon Knight on attack.
Yeah, Team Iron Man needs to start popping these ults. John has that penny ult, hasn't been used yet, but that is going to be a huge difference maker if they want to save this push here. It's all up to Milk. Tussler isn't going to get anything going here as Team Moon Knight continues to push up. That is a great shot onto Holy Juan, but it is spider time now.
They're holding him out!
They're holding him out! He can't even get onto the point. Spooky, another huge Eye of Agamotto does get Better Sabiki out of the game in this current moment in time. As they're managing to hold the point still, even though it looks like Moon Knight, they're just right at the edge there of this checkpoint. Team Iron Man managing to hold out, but not so as Spooky stops that from happening. Team Moon Knight getting a second checkpoint here. 2 minutes left to go if we want to see more gameplay here. As Team Moon Knight putting up a valiant effort to make sure that happens here. Team Iron Man, they had such a solid defense earlier. Now Moon Knight is starting to find the holes in their defense and exploit those weaknesses.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't really necessarily matter. Even if they get the third, we're going to go into overtime. It just depends on the time on the clock. And if you see right now, Team Moon Knight, if they want to beat at least the time on that third point, they don't have very much to go. This is a huge ult from the Star-Lord, but is he going to be picked off in time? No. Finds 2. Can the third come through? No, not quite. But it doesn't matter. The damage has already been done. Magneto ult comes down and isn't going to find anything for its value. It gets the cloak and dagger, and all of a sudden, it is Team Moon Knight who have the advantage. It is them who keep moving forward, and they still have time to burn as they try to keep on moving that cart. They have a Bucky ult to fall back on as well. It's going to become absolute chaos when everyone comes back out. Look at Team Moon Knight, though. They only have the Bucky ult to rely on. Their ult economy is going through the ground. Mr. Oz can try to see if he can farm up a ult in time with Eye of Agamotto should be available for them, but it all depends on what the Holy Juan can do. Can avoid that Eye of Agamotto ult if you want to go Hell Unleashed and pick off their players as they take apart your team, and they have a Luna Snow ult as well to combat that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what gets done here, and with 40 seconds left to go, they don't even have cart possession. Team Iron Man, they've held brilliantly so far, and it's all off the back of that Doctor Strange, and now the Hell Unleashed comes through. It's going to be the Luna ult that gets comboed out as well. But Theo, he's positioned his ult poorly here. He can only land half the shots he's usually able to, and that might be a huge mistake. The Eye of Agamotto comes down, and now this should be Roll City for Team Moon Knight. In theory, they should have it down, but the support ults are keeping their team alive. People get down so low, but we're not seeing that many picks come through. All of a sudden, they all roll through at the same time. The triple for Mags. And right now, the contest has to be broken, but it's still overtime, and it's going to be any man's game still.
Oh, any man's game still, but this day it goes to Team Iron Man. They tie it up after a very hard-fought victory on Convoy there. Excellent work at the end there. I mean, even that mishap from Holy Juan, screwing up his position of the ult there, but excellent work there. Able to stay composed, getting some life back. Looks like Team Moon Knight was going to run away with it, but now Team Iron Man proving that they are here for a dogfight, and that's exactly what we saw in that second game.
Absolutely, and I mean, props to the Magneto as well. That was the huge play there from Team Iron Man. Their Magneto was the one who was able to stall everything at the very end, found the triple to succeed in holding that point. And man, I gotta say, you know what? Now this is that question that I get into. We've now seen Team Moon Knight drop a map, and now as the series is tied 1-1, I couldn't tell you what's going to happen. They have an answer for their DPSs, at least on Team Moon Knight. They have an answer to Spectrum. They have an answer to Jeff Freak. And I gotta say, I'm really curious to see how Team Moon Knight are going to adapt the next game.
Well, the answer that they need is the answer to how to deal with the Holy Juan, because he was just taking over, especially near the very end there with Hella. Definitely a very deadly choice for him, but also shout out to Milk Tussler, man. Like, as a Magneto main, that was some excellent Magneto play that we were seeing from him, especially at the very end there, like you were saying, able to stall out just enough, finding that triple when he needed to, and landing a dunk with his ult onto that final support. But man, just what an excellent showing from Team Iron Man here. This is exactly what we were talking about at the start of this game, with both of these teams so evenly matched. These really are the two absolute best teams in this tournament, so we should have expected nothing less than an absolute dogfight, and so far it's been living up to the hype.
I will say, scriptwriters, take
cooking,
a
man.
bow,
Oh,
because this one is going to go the distance. I can already feel it. You know what? You were saying map 5, and I was like, I don't really know necessarily.
I'm a knower, bro.
I think I could really spot out that Team Moon Knight looked so strong there. I didn't know how Iron Man was going to respond, but we see now it's in great fashion. Look at John, look at Milk Tussler, 40 and 36 respectively. You would have thought they were playing DPS, but the Holy Juan with 42 as well. These were picks coming in chunks. Look at the amount of assists the supports have right now. 42, 38 apiece for the Mantis and the Luna. I mean, this is an absolutely barbaric stat line. Look at the other side as well. Look at the fact that Jeff Freak, that's a stat line we've seen him put up before on a winning side, and this one was close. But take a look at the Adam Warlock. Look at the support deaths right now. 15 from the Cloak and Dagger, 14 from the Adam Warlock. You can't sustain a team on your own with just Luna Snow. If you're running a triple support comp, that's basically 2 people out left to dry. It's definitely what put Team Iron Man over the edge, and none other than the MVP himself, Milk Tussler, with 40 kills, 4 deaths, 0 assists, but that's not really his job. You know what his job is, though? Infinite vibes, and that's exactly what Team Iron Man have to be on right now. It feels like they're probably on cloud 9 because their vibes are through the roof.
The vibes are through the roof, but they still have some work to do, because again, this next game 3 going to be absolutely massive in swinging the momentum of this series potentially. But like I said, this is the first time we've seen somebody other than Spectrum in the MVP screen. I mean, Milk Tussler, 40 and 4 on Magneto is absolutely disgusting. But I mean, like, that's, really doing the dirty work for his team, starting all of those pushes, getting the frags when he needs to, defending when he needs to, just doing it all for his team. And yeah, this is the stiffest competition that Team Moon Knight has faced so far, and it's going to be an absolutely exciting Game 3 as we await for it to happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Game 3, we've yapped long enough. It's coming to you soon after a quick 2-minute break.
Welcome back, Saints Nation. I hope you didn't miss us too much. We are getting ready for our Game 3 of our Grand Finals of our Nexus Showdown. We were kind of talking about this before we went on our break. This is a very exciting Game 3. Going to be setting up some, big momentum shifts potentially in this next game. Smoke, what are you looking for? What are you expecting to see out of this Game 3? You know where it's going to be. We're going back to Convergence on Spider Island. So what do both teams need to do to prepare for the switch to Convergence?
Well, we've already seen what Team Moon Knight does on Spider Island's Convergence. We already know what kind of a lineup they're already aiming to go for. They want to keep that Spider-Man, obviously, even if it's on the defensive side. We saw that happen last time, and the Strange is most definitely what they want to save, as well as it has been the entire day. But for Team Iron Man, we don't have the luxury of being able to look at a past matchup, and I think hot, fresh off a win, they definitely have the momentum. Right now, what we've learned is Theo just cannot be stopped on Hela, and Betterson McGee, also known as Daniil, shout out my man, he just realized I was literally getting a water break, and he went up to me and he was like, you know what, that was like really easy. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, you know what, we weren't able to play Luna all day today, and I'm not even someone who plays Luna a whole lot, and it was kind of the thing where they just said, yo, it's free, let's just pick Luna. And I was like, are you sure? They're like, yeah, just do it. They did, and he was like, well, here we are. We just rolled them. So, you know what? Fair is fair. And 1-1 going through, I really got to say, because they didn't have the Luna in that game 1, and we saw how that obviously went, still able to contest, but it was an easy 2-0. I think Team Moon Knight maybe should think about banning that Luna from the support side of Team Iron Man.
I was just going to say, because of how impactful she was in that second game, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we saw a ban in response to that. Like we said, we've already seen what Team Moon Knight likes to do on Convergence on Spider Islands. We're going to see if they employ a similar strategy, obviously stiffer competition this time with Team Iron Man. I'm sure they have answers for these potential, plans that Team Iron Man is going to be setting up, but we're going to see. I think, like we said, this is a huge one in terms of momentum. Team Iron Man definitely having it on their side at this current moment in time after that hard-fought victory on Yggdrasil Path. And here we go. Here we are. It's Convergence on Spider Islands. You know it. You love it. And we are back as we wait for this first set of bans coming out. Like we said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Luna Snow band right off the rip, but it's going to be Psylocke again. Clearly, they must be scared of Spectrum on Psylocke, and like we said, that has to be a direct ban response.
Well, you know what? I don't blame them for it. I mean, he's literally had every MVP of them last game. They actually banned the Magneto, and that makes sense because that Magneto was such a huge factor in what won Yggdrasil's path for Team Iron Man. So we do see the Strange is picked. So obviously Spooky has his tank. But now I think it's very interesting to note that you lock in the Luna Snow because of this. And now all of a sudden, Team Iron Man, they have their goal in mind. They want the Luna, and they ban the Loki like they did the first time.
It's a quick ban,
and it worked out. Yeah, again, I said the Loki was someone who I think people should be targeting a little more often from Team Moon Knight. It seems like they're very reliant sometimes on that second support ult coming through, and it makes complete sense why I'm seeing that happen, as well as the Hela ban. You do not want to give Theo a chance on that hit scan damn near. And we see for the first time, he's finally bringing out the Namor. He's been threatening to do this for a little while now, and especially with the Luna team up as well, this is going to be very interesting to see how it goes.
But at the same time, you have Team Moon Knight that are also electing to do
they're going
the
into
exact same thing. As we see pretty similar comms from the last one, Wallace Frog pulling in the supports with Milk Tussler for Team Iron Man. John electing to pick Groot instead of Magneto this time. So even though his one trick or his preferred tank gets taken out, he does have an answer to directly respond to that ban. Groot as well doesn't get as much love in the tank community as, maybe your Doctor Strange or your Magneto, but Groot, after these recent buffs, has been really, really strong and proven to be a very high-tiered character, especially in the right hands. Really looking forward to see what John is going to be able to do with Groot in this one.
Yeah, I think one of the talking points I want to bring up is the fact that the changes with the Rocket and the Mantis, and I think the Mantis is such a big deal because when you inspire that Namor, the amount of damage you can put out can be absolutely heinous. And when you look at the other side, when you have those players like the Rocket, like the Luna, that need to depend on survivability, getting rid of them very quickly could be the key as we see Portal comes through, and we are not wasting any time. Strange v Strange, right off the rip. Let's see how it goes down. Grand Finals, your Game 3 winner moves on to series points.
Not the first time we've seen this Portal play in that position on this first point here. Team Iron Man wasting no time in getting onto the objective here as Spooky doing more work, trying to take out Holy Juan on Namor here, but he is going to find purchase here. That's Spectrum, on John, and Holy Juan does manage to find a pick of his own here. Jeff Freak trying to do some damage here, isolating that C and D and taking them out with ease. And there's Betterson McGee taken out with ease as well here as Team Moon Knight. Very strong defense to start this one out.
Well, yeah, you know, it's a decent start, and at the same time, they also have the Bucky ult that they can work off of. The Namor as well could be a huge combo to immediately hold everybody still for that just a couple of seconds. And this is interesting. We're immediately seeing the Holy Juan switch up to the Punisher. We saw how this worked last time, how it countered out the Spider-Man and the Psylocke from Team Moon Knight, but those aren't getting run at all for them. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they have in store.
Yeah, Team Moon Knight elects to change their strategy. Here's a big ult from Spectrum here. Does manage to find the Holy Juan. That's an amplifier from Mr. Oz as well to give them that extra bit of firepower here as Ethan trying to get his C&D ult out to just give the team a bit more support here. But Team Moon Knight holding strong on defense here. Jeff Freak trying to lead the charge in the front line. Does get that infinite ammo bonus from that Rocket Raccoon ability here. That's a great team up here, especially on the defensive side here. But Holy Juan on the other side, trying to get something going. Team Iron Man waiting in the wings, waiting for the perfect moment to push in. 3 ults to work with, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
I was going to say, and you're also pairing this with the Rocket ult, so again, infinite ammo when you're on the Punisher no matter what now. If you have that comp and that team line up in, it's going to be a Bucky ult, but it's going to be all for nothing, countered up beautifully, and all of a sudden Team Iron Man with a little bit of backlash, but they seem to be doing just fine. They seem to be rolling. The res is huge from the Rocket. Holy Juan picks off Spooky, and they have their successful attack, barring a touch. I don't even know if you'd really want to go for it. Yeah, you just got to give him the point. No problem in becoming, or at least no reason to become staggered by trying to contest. And it's going to be Team Iron Man moving swimmingly so far.
Yeah, they proved that patience is a virtue and is always something you need to keep in mind when playing these types of tactical shooters, or hero shooters, you know, just waiting for the perfect moment to use that ult and not, you know, fat fingering that key or just, you know, trying to use it too quickly. So, you know, good job for Team Iron Man, and now they're trying this aggressive push here. Holy Juan trying to push up as far as he can, trying to push those members of Team Moon Knight back, holding them off with his assault rifle, doing the Lord's work here as Team Moon Knight having to readjust here. A bit on the back foot here. It doesn't look like they're able to really set up here. It's like Team Iron Man has them on the ropes a little bit.
Well, you know, it's very interesting for me to see how the group can also work with the Punisher in ways that if you catch people with the ult, the Punisher can just walk up with that shotgun, right? You wall off a tank, Punisher can walk up with that shotgun. It creates close range encounters that your DPS will thrive in. Namor ult goes down, and it's not going to find the exact value that I think he was hoping for. Instead, it's actually going to be Spectrum who gets cleaned off the map. The Luna ult is down, though, and for now, it is Team Moon Knight who can try to sustain through this. But I was going to say the Punisher ult might last a little bit longer, and right now it should be free pickings for Team Iron Man if they play this right. But so far, nothing. The counter comes out instead from the Bucky, but no! Getting close in, it's the work of Theo and Betterson McGee who are able to shut it down. Trades go blow by blow. It's punch, counter punch. But right now, Team Iron Man, they're holding strong. They keep pushing that payload. And Team Moon Knight, they have to continually back up more and more.
That was a huge res from the BRB. Jeff Freak able to get back into the fight after falling down, trying to put some work in on Betterson McGee, on Dr. Strange. Oh, he turned his back. He almost lost that there, but Jeff Freak missed that shot.
They're rolling right
They are absolutely rolling right now. Holy Juan leading the charge with a double. Pulling out that shotgun, looking for that rocket. Can't find him here. Doesn't want to commit to chasing after him. Just going to take the checkpoint. Team Ironman 2, they reach the second checkpoint, and they are looking to end this one quickly as Holy Juan and Milk Tussler, they are pushing up very, very far and very aggressively to stagger the members of Team Moon Knight for getting back to the payload.
Well, right now, there either needs to be a playstyle switch or a change, and that's exactly what they've gone for. Jeff Freak, despite being on the defense, is going to level up with the Spider-Man. Let's see how the Holy Juan, we've seen it be counted out before with the Punisher, but it seems like right now, Jeff Freak going to go to where he knows best, going back to his roots, going to see if he can dive the back line, and is literally just staying in spawn right now of the enemy team. It's going to be the Namor ult that tries to cancel out, but the Punisher ult should be able to sustain through this, and right now, Theo, the onus is on you to just create space, and that's exactly what they're trying to do, but he doesn't really find too much in terms of economy of picks to do so as we stand at a standstill.
Yeah, this is a good defense for Moon Knight here. You know, that Namor ult to push everybody back on the side of Iron Man here. And now Jeff Freak trying to put work in on Spider-Man, but Ethan is going to be able to get him out there as Spooky trying to hold them off as much as they can, but the DPS on the side of Team Iron Man is too much to deal with as a Mantis ult dropping in and a Luna Snow ult as well, trying to stop all of them from pushing up. That's an Eye of Agamotto as well, and a rocket ult going down. Absolute pandemonium on the payload right now as ult after ult continues to pop out as huge Eye of Agamotto for the side of Team Moon Knight here. Jeff Freak looking for a couple more picks. Ethan is back into the fight thanks to that BRB, and now Spider-Man is looking to use his ult here. That's Spectrum on Namor. We're going to hop on with him for a little bit. Ace finding another one. Team Moon Knight able to push the members of Team Iron Man back. Team Iron Man just about a minute left to push this payload as far as they can.
Yeah, and you know what? This has been a really good show, successfully done by Team Moon Knight. They have control, but right now, ults, it's going to be the Holy Juan with what's going to be almost, I believe, his third or fourth ult of the same game right now. The Spider-Man needs to try to find some economy off this ultimate, and that's going to be exactly what him and the Namor team up to do. 3 picks go the way, make it 4. Team Moon Knight, they are rolling again. Jeff Freak, he's found his mojo. Clean up, find the last. It doesn't have to be you that does it. It just needs to be the team. And Team Moon Knight, with 30 seconds left, they found an answer.
Clearly the answer was just having Jeff play Spider-Man. I mean, like, if that was what was working before, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that was exactly the vibe shift that they needed to get that push. I mean, what a huge ult that he was able to use. Able to shut down that Punisher as well. That was a massive, massive shutdown for the side of Team Moon Knight here as they look to continue this strong defense here. There's Spooky. John couldn't finish out Spooky there, even though he was caught in that ult. Just couldn't get the final pick that they needed. Jeff Freak is inspired by that. Mantis does have that damage buff. Looking to find those picks, is getting into the back line there, being elusive, you know, being that great wall crawler that he is. Another Luna Snow coming out to add support for the side. Mantis going down here. That's Mr. Oz finishing her off. Spooky finding another support. Another Eye of Agamotto coming out here. That should do it with the Namor ult for good measure here. Team Moon Knight just about to end this defense here, but Team Iron Man, just at the last little bit of overtime, managed to retake the payload. No way they keep this going here. I mean, that Cloak and Dagger ult is going to give them a little bit more time here. But that another Namor ult.
You gotta be kidding me right now. They're on again. They found an answer again. Eye of Agamotto going through, and it's going to be on the other side now. Team Iron Man, what were you eating for breakfast? This is an unreal hold that you keep on the point. Spider-Man trying to see if he can just find a support pick at all, but nothing happens. Whose ult is going to happen first? It's literally just who pick City right now. The Mantis going down. No more Inspires, no more healing. Huge from Jeff Freak, but with 185, he has to be careful. Get some support of his own right now, and this could be huge. It's right now, Team Iron Man at a man disadvantage, but they're coming back swimmingly. The Spider-Man needs to get dealt with, though. The Groot ult goes down. It's going to hold everybody. The Namor gets unstunned, and look at Spectrum! 4 for Team Moon Knight as they hold.
I think he needs to take a break. right there, bro. That was like way too crazy at the very end there. I mean, where do you even start? All
was
those ults. That was
ridiculous.
an absolutely absurd hold from Team Iron Man there. Or Team Moon Knight. Oh my god, I
Well,
can't
you
even
would- it was back
remember,
and
bro. That
forth.
was
Iron
so
Man was
crazy.
like, you would have thought after the Eye of Agamotto went down, it was all over, right? It was wraps. But they keep 2 on the payload. Then going to the final point. I mean, Spectrum with the 4K of gods. You don't write it up any better than that. It was such a back and forth match. And oh my god, if this is what we are in store for potentially 2 more series, I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to keep this up right now, Evan.
You know, we're really keeping the replay operator busy right
That
now,
we are.
having to capture all this action. I mean, excellent work in the back room, getting all of these replays for us. But I mean, where do you even start? I mean, like, the hold from Moon Knight and just the commitment to the push from Team Iron Man, just timing those ults. That portal from Betterson McGee to get back onto the point, popping that Eye of Agamotto to just get it that extra little bit far. And you know, when it looked like Team Moon Knight was, you know, it looked doable. You know, it was 2 checkpoints, but it was only about halfway to the end. Definitely very doable, but now a much tougher task because Iron Man was able to just bring it out that much farther. Very difficult, especially with the momentum they now must have into this second one, as we're going to be seeing another portal play, a repeat of the last one in the exact same spot too, as Team Moon Knight trying to get onto this point quickly, wasting absolutely 0 time in starting this one.
We'll have to see. The Penny, you know, it might be a good shout, but only time will be able to tell. On the attack right now, Jeff Freak should get a whole lot more out of this Spider-Man, but Spectrum, it doesn't matter if you take the Psylocke away from him. On the Namor, he proves just as deadly. Finds 2, make it 3, and have the Spider-Man of Jeff Freak get another, as it's going to be an early attack success from Team Moon Knight.
Wow, they absolutely did not waste any time in taking that point there. I mean, like, look at Spider-Man or Jeff Freak just doing it all. I mean, like, able to just, you know, swing around and get any of these picks as quickly as possible. We're going to get John back onto Penny Parker. Definitely a solid choice, especially for defense here. Spooky getting frozen out by Luna Snow CC. Spectrum is just absolutely on a tear right now with Namor, king of Atlantis, king of the ocean, doing it all here. I mean, those Namor ults, I mean, let's talk about how huge those Namor ults are, especially with their CCing ability. I know not a lot of people think about the Namor ult, you know, oh, it's just a big whale, you know, it's not a big flashy ult, you know, maybe not as cool as some of the other ones, but just as useful in a lot of situations, and now Spectrum has it to play with. I'm expected to see it very soon, especially if they can get Team Iron Man clumped up together.
Right, absolutely. That's going to be what you want. There's the Namor ult, and there it is. The CC goes down, and that should open up the floodgates. However, Theo able to find one. Spider-Man able to take out the Mantis as well. So no more Inspire on the Punisher. There's no more application of damage. This should be a Spider-Man ult coming through. It finds one in the back line, but it's all that's needed because the other support was already down previously. This should be Roll City right now for Team Moon Knight, but I believe Team Iron Man, they still have numbers on point. They're still surviving. God knows how, but they're making it work.
And it's all down to the support players here. I mean, Milk Tussler and Wallace are just absolutely going mental on the support side. That is what's keeping them in this fight right now. But that Luna Snow ult comboed with that Eye of Agamotto is going to make things difficult. But what also is going to make it difficult are these big spider mines, but get stunned out by the Eye of Agamotto on the side of, I believe it was Team Moon Knight here. There's another big whale
Huge
from Spectrum. Huge ult from Namor to solve that problem for Team Moon Knight. They continue to push. It's all down to Holy Juan, and Jeff Freak is going to put him in the blender and push him off just that little bit more. Jeff having to retreat just a little bit to get his health back, but it doesn't matter as Team Moon Knight already has hit the second checkpoint in record time, really. They are just wasting no time. And here's another Theo has ult again somehow. He is just farming his ult right now, trying to find as many as he can.
They're doing a really good job of avoiding it.
Absolutely gets stunned out by that shield. Hayes is gonna shut him down before he does too much damage. But again, Moon Knight continuing this charge. Team Iron Man just having no answers for these pushes that Moon Knight is rocking with right now.
Yeah, you know what? I actually really would have wanted to see those two ults combo up from the Holy One and the Mantis. And now as we see the Moon Knight getting switched onto as well, this could be huge. These onks, because of the fact of where they're at, they could have a massive effect. Something you have to watch out for, though, is Spectrum still on that name where he's just been doing God's work. And even if you try to take him down, you still have Jeff Freak to worry about.
You absolutely have to worry about him at all times. I mean, Moon Knight has so many DPS players that are proven to be shooters, and we know they're going to hit their shots. I mean, here's another ult from Jeff Freak.
Theo has
going
three.
to find another one. Theo finding 3 with Moon Knight. Duel wins. Oh, and Jeff Freak is going to win that duel with Theo here, as now Team Moon Knight has the end in sight. That should be it there. Spectrum ending it in style, gonna hit that emote as well. Team Moon Knight with a rapid lightning strike is going to be up 1-2-1 in the series. One more game to go, and they will be the champions if they win it. It's all up to Team Iron Man now. Their backs are against the wall now. How will they respond to this adversity?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. You ban out, whether you want to get rid of the Psylocke, I mean, the Namor is just so much to overcome. Again, Team Moon Knight, right? We talk about the versatility. I wanted to see how they performed under adversity. It seems that I've learned the answer, and very much like the icy team-up that is Luna Snow and Namor, Spectrum with ice in his veins has just been cold every damn series, and it continues here, as he is definitely going to be your MVP. There's no doubt about it. You can't really think to anybody else. This man has been on a tear. He's not only getting picks in multi-kills, in numbers, in consistency, he's also not dying. That's something that's so huge, is he's able to survive. He's able to place those squids in the back, which when paired with Spider-Man, it doesn't necessarily matter that the squids are dealing damage. It's nice for pick damage, but the big thing of why Namor is so good here is it's making those supports for anybody else who has to take utility out. It's making them look away from their enemies, and for the healers, it's making them look away from their teammates. It's drawing the attention of the supports away from their team to get rid of the utility, and because they have to do that, it's free gap space for the Spider-Man to take the ground, to take the flank uncontested from CC, for example. There's too much to look at, and right now it's too overwhelming for Team Iron Man, and that is what we just saw.
No, absolutely. They're overwhelming them with their sense of aggression and like how they're able to make space and play the game they as in Team Moon Knight, they're making Iron Man play the game that they want them to play. You know, they're really sort of getting them into these traps. They're trying to draw their ults out, and they're countering ults when they need to, and they're sort of playing it, you know, like we said, they're playing at the pace that they want to, and when they're letting Jeff cook on Spider-Man, I mean, like, you just can't stop them at that point. Once they get rolling, especially, like, we saw it there, like, once they really got going and got that momentum, like, it didn't matter how many, you know, maybe, you know, if Moon Knight lost a team fight, they were just right back. They're just right back with it. You know, the staggers that Team Iron Man was trying to do weren't working at all, and Moon Knight was able to use that aggressive nature that they were playing with all series, and we've seen all day, to their advantage, and I think it's really throwing Team Iron Man for a loop here. They just don't have any answers for these aggressive DPS players, you know, with Spider-Man or Spectrum. You know, if he's playing Psylocke or if he's playing Namor, it doesn't really matter, because they're gonna fry. Like, they're gonna cook no matter what.
Well, here we go. It's time to put up or shut up. It's game number 4. We have Team Moon Knight on match point. You see Miguel. He's the last remaining member of the Marvel Rivals Club team here at St. Clair, and he could have the graciousness of taking it all home. That's exactly what, at least I know Wyatt, I'm not saying he's biased, but he wants to see his student succeed, and this is going to be the chance to prove that as we see the Psylocke ban getting enforced.
Yeah, no surprise there. I mean, it's obviously a counter to Spectrum. You can't let him have that character on free reign. I think we're going to see pretty similar bans to the last one. I mean,
it's just been so back and forth.
It's been so back and forth. No, absolutely not. I think this is probably going to be a save on Luna Snow. I would be very surprised to see otherwise.
They're taking their time, though.
They
are really thinking about it, because there's just so much that you could look to take off the board for Team Iron Man. Like, you're trying to think, but in the end, you do settle for that Luna Snow pick. As we see now, the next ban will have to come through. We will see what they decide to do here, and maybe that's why they were taking time. Maybe they were thinking about what they wanted to ban afterwards as well, but as the clock ticks down, we will
Playing
get
some
to that
mind games
answer very quickly. It's going to be the Spider-Man banned out, so no more of that from Mr. Freak, but we know he can also operate on the Bucky.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Freak. No more Spider-Man for you, but like we said, he is not a one-trick pony. Does have a lot of other options, and there's Hella getting taken out as well. Definitely a response to the Holy Juan, but he's going to pick Storm as well. Smoke, you look like you have something to say. What are you going to say?
This is very interesting because we're actually seeing the Spider-Man and the Psylocke getting banned out. That's something we haven't seen all day today, and you know what? Screw it. I like where Team Iron Man's at with this, because if you take out both of their DPSs who are diving, you're taking away their ability to dive in the first place, minus Jeffrey, who will try to maybe get it done on the Star-Lord. But at the end of the day, I actually really like this, and I'm kind of confused on why this wasn't done earlier. You know what? I think you've learned from your mistakes. It's not really like spooky who you have to worry about, and you're only targeting one of the DPSs, and you know what? You give them the Loki, that's cool, so be it. At the end of the day, your supports are not surviving. This dive is simply getting to them, and especially paired with a Namor, it's just way too much to look at. Your supports are going to get overwhelmed. So what do? You take out both the dive options. You force them to play an off character on the dive if they even want to do that. And at least, you know what, you give Spectrum the Namor, but you make them have to switch it up entirely. So we haven't seen this just yet. I like it from Team Iron Man, and I wonder what it's going to bring out.
No, absolutely, you're right about that. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Team Iron Man is going to do with their backs against the wall here. I mean, this is the most adversity we've seen them fight through all day, and Team Moon Knight has all the momentum on their side here, especially with another payload map too that they were so good on last time. You know, even if you give up a couple checkpoints here, I think Moon Knight is going to try and keep that aggressive nature up as we see Team Iron Man try to get off to a hot start here, but that's Mr. Oz opening up the fragging against Moon Knight, and Jeff Freak again, and Spooky. We've been calling their names a lot today for good reason. They are continuing to play on a heater there as Jeff Freak. Looking to see what he can do on Star-Lord here. I mean, another great sort of backline character with an insane ult as well. Gonna be really something to look out for here.
Yeah, you know what? Moon Knight, with those ults, he can do so much damage, and Moon Knight ult goes down as well, and that's going to find one. Can it find a second? Maybe not, but it at least forces the defense to disperse in time. They have to now recoup, and on a man disadvantage, I will point out the Loki has now been brought back in from Mr. Oz. We saw how big this was for them, as it is him and Miguel who can team up and basically have two Luna ults. So we will see, has banning out the Loki been the answer? Maybe, maybe not. It's gonna have to be time can tell. But Spectrum, he still has the Namor in pocket. He's on low health actually, 55. Needs to get back to his supports, but I don't think he should have too big of an issue doing that.
And look at this, Team Moon Knight, 5 ults in their back pocket. They are ready for anything that Team Iron Man throws at them, and that's exactly what they're going to do, using some of these ults to stall them out here. That's Spooky with 2, Spectrum with another one, and now Team Iron Man on the back foot. Look at this, trying to get the ace here. Can they get it before the team gets back? That essentially is an ace. I mean, you're staggering members of Team Iron Man out pretty far here. 2 minutes left to go on this side here. Team Moon Knight looking very strong right now. They definitely have a win in sight.
Yeah, and we could be looking at straight up the mental chalk that comes with knowing that you're on match point right now. Even if Team Iron Man forces this next game, you still got to do it again. So it just seems like right now, this hold, if Team Moon Knight were able to pull this one off, as they only have 1:30 left to go for Team Iron Man, this is a statement.
No, absolutely right. Statement victory. I mean, there still is a lot of game to be played. Team Iron Man getting back onto the payload. That's Milk Tussler leading the charge with Luna Snow, but the moon is going to haunt the members of Team Moon Knight. Some friendly fire there as the Holy Juan finding it. Few members of Team Moon Knight with that ult, as now Team Iron Man retaking control of the payload just about at this first objective here. Theo finding Spectrum. That's that DPS battle we were highlighting here. These two incredibly talented DPS players, but here is Jeff Freak coming out of nowhere, but Eye of Agamotto hitting him out of his ult here. That is
huge
absolutely massive ult from Daniil. to shut down Jeff Freak Star Wars, or as now Team Iron Man just about 3 meters away from that first checkpoint as more ults begin to come out onto the payload.
But they need to cap this right now, and the Eye of Agamotto's going to get 4 as well. The stun from Namor comes through, and all of a sudden, Team Moon Knight, it seems like they have an answer for this attack. But Team Iron Man, they've shown before, they're just standing and boxing here. Punch, counter punch, the second you think it's over, they find picks in quantities. And Team Iron Man are not done just yet. Led by Theo, manned by Betterson McGee, they are on a killing spree, and they continue to not be denied.
They did waste a lot of time, though. Don't have as much time as they probably prefer to get through this checkpoint. So still a lot of work to do before we can start calling this one done and dusted. But Team Moon Knight is going back on defense. Let's see what Jeff Freak and the rest of the crew can do to stop this push here. Hayes does have that Luna Snow ult in pocket. We're expecting to see that being the charge being led from him there, as now Mr. Oz can duplicate it if he needs to in case there's a serious team push from Team Iron Man. There is another Moon Knight ult coming out from Theo. Doesn't find any purchase there. That Luna Snow ult from Hayes, saving the members of Team Moon Knight from any damage. There is now John having to retreat.
He's already back on almost 40%.
Back. Oh my goodness.
That's already the third Moon Knight ult we've seen, and already he's looking to get back into it. 60, 70% again for Theo. He can kick to 80 right now, despite everything that's going on. The Namor ult comes through, and this should be the shutdown from Team Moon Knight. There it is. It comes through. It's a team wipe. Successful. And for just now, they have a moment to breathe. But there is hell to be seen, as there is still a minute and change left to go. And Team Iron Man, they have the ult advantage going forward.
Somehow Theo has his ult again.
Yes.
And I mean, you can combo that with that Groot ult. I mean, that would be absolutely unstoppable, but you have to watch out for Spooky. He does have that Eye of Agamotto ready to go. Team Moon Knight having to expend a lot of ults on that last push. But we're going to see what they can do here. Spooky up very far here, trying to stagger them out here. Let's see, hold on.
If you wait, you can combo up the Groot ult with the Moon Knight ult. That would free up point extremely well. And you had 51 seconds. There's more than enough time to do this. I'm calling it right now. That's definitely what they're going to look to go for. There it is, exactly as planned. And it finds one, it finds two, but a huge Eye of Agamotto! It shuts down 3! No way, Spooky! Have you done enough? Betterson McGee with 1, Jeff Freak with another, and it's almost just a 1v1 on point. With the near spawn, you have to think that Team Iron Man, they might have enough, but no! They get pushed back, 20 seconds left to go, and is this going to be a statement hold for Team Moon Knight? Is this going to be 1 point, all that's needed? Not quite, as Team Iron Man, they somehow get back yet again.
Somehow they got back. Henzo's Cloak and Dagger ult got stuck on that tree there. Probably didn't position it as well as they could have. But here comes Jeff Freak with that Star Lord ult, but a Luna Snow ult in response, or a Mantis ult, excuse me, in response. It's just absolutely pandemonium on the payload as we enter overtime here. And Namor ult finding two Spectrum again. Doing it all as Spectrum and Spooky leading the charge for Team Moon Knight here, and that's gonna be
Count 'em up!
Count 'em up! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's gonna be it for Team Moon Knight here as they stall Team Iron Man's progress. And now we get to see Team Moon Knight go on attack. They just need to get to that middle of the road in that second checkpoint, and that's all it's going to take for them to win it all.
It was such a good effort there. I called out the ultimate combo from the Groot and the Moon Knight, but that Eye of Agamotto saved everyone. It was done by Spooky, one of the best ults in the entire day, I have to say, to save his entire team from giving up potentially what could have been key ground in that second point and put the entire series on ice. And right now, I'm not gonna lie, Team Iron Man, it might be the beginning of the end. This has just been such a hard team to deal with, especially when they get onto the attack because they're so good in dive. Yes, they don't have the Spider-Man, and yes, they do not have the Psylocke, but why has Spectrum been holding off on this Namor? It's been because he wants to bait people into thinking he's the Psylocke one trick. You ban the Psylocke, the Namor comes out, and it has been doing nothing but numbers.
And how good is Spooky on Doctor Strange, man? I mean,
Oh,
like,
it's just
we
so
were
impressive
talking
to
about
watch.
this. We were game planning around how good he was, but we're really seeing it shine right now. That he is the absolute leader of this team and doing it all, you know, on the side of defense, on the offense. I mean, he is just everywhere he needs to be. And look at this. I mean, like, Iron Man trying to stall out this aggressive take here, but again,
You have to. Every
team,
second
you
matters.
have to. Every second matters now. Exactly right. As now we do see
Wolverine,
a
Spooky's down early.
Oh, look at this. He kidnapped Spooky right off the rip here. I don't think Team Moon Knight was expecting Frog to swap to that Moon Knight here as the team comp for Team Iron Man does switch a little bit here, but now Jeffrey elected to go to that Bucky, another strong character for him.
You know what, and for a second I got very loud there because it wasn't something that I'm used to seeing, but at the same time I remembered, right, they're on the offense. So near spawn will take over. It's not going to be that bad, so pardon me, guys, for viewers for ruining your eardrums for a second there. But as the hold comes through, again, like I said earlier, every second matters, every meter matters, and right now it seems like they're holding up just fine, but still 3 minutes to go, you have lots of rivals left to play, and the second you see one person on the defense for Team Iron Man go down, that's when the floodgates are going to start to open. And there it is, the Pedersen McGee down for the count. That's a healer as well, and not a good start.
No, not a good start. I was just about to compliment Team Iron Man for how they had been starting out, you know, well, defending against this aggressive push, but now Team Moon Knight just taking over here as now Jeff Freak has Mantis retreating and trying to get back to her teammates for support here. And
This
there
is huge.
is
This could be
Jeff
early.
Freak's ult, but a Namor ult having to push everybody back. That's the Holy Juan managing to push back Jeff Freak just that little bit more. But Milk Tussler with that ult as well to give them just that extra little bit of support. But Team Moon Knight continues to push that payload. Team Iron Man needs to get closer if they want to defend just that little bit more. But Holy Juan and company, oh, what an excellent flank here to get Mr. Oz in the back here. Namor just going absolutely crazy in the back line here. Nobody can stop him.
Completely taking
Look
it
at
back.
this, completely taking it back here after it looked like Team Moon Knight was going to get to that first checkpoint with little to no resistance. Team Iron Man showing a really solid defense there.
Well, you know what? You have to give it to him, but at the same time, it's hilarious how in this finals, it's definitely become, especially on Spider Islands, a race of just simply which Moon Knight can use more ultimates than the other. That's just all it comes down to. As Wolverine tries to put in work on 100 right now, should be able to find some picks, but no, instead the Holy Juan shuts down the Loki, and now the Eye of Agamotto going out should be able to find a confirm, but the CC from the Luna, the freeze from I believe that was Pedersen McGee. DPS is trading blows, and who knows what's going to happen on Spider Islands.
Anything can happen on Spider Islands. It is the absolute craziest place to be as the moon
Massive.
Oh, Theo just getting out of there. That's the Holy One using that water shield to avoid that Moon Knight ult. But he is going to get away, but Team Moon Knight back on the payload,
Just
and
has to
they're
hold it.
just about to get to that first checkpoint here, but Holy Juan is going to get on there just in time. He's going to set up his little octopus companion to help him, and he is going to find Spectrum. That Spectrum
Shield.
going down, huge shield to get out and retake that space. Jeffrey coming back in as Bucky, looking for that big Groot ult to find
God!
three! To find three, teaming up with the Holy One to end that push here. And
39
oh my God,
seconds. They
39
have no
seconds
ults
left.
either.
No ults for Team Moon Knight here. They're just so close to getting that checkpoint.
And look, they have a Luna as well. Team Iron Man, they have a Luna ult in the back pocket. There's no way you hold this. This is insane. But we're seeing the unbelievable. A portal play has to happen, and it's anytime means go. The rush comes through. The Loki switches with the clone, so he's not going to be able to die. Now all of a sudden, the sustain comes through, but the Bucky ult, he has it again. You have to use it over and over. Keep finding your kills. You have to convert. Do it again, Bucky. You have to pop. But no, the hold is going down, and all that stands between Team Iron Man and this hold is no one, as Luna and Namor are going to find the confirm. That's overtime bucket.
Did I hear somebody say Game 5? Because we're going to a Game 5. Team Iron Man with an amazing hold to push this series to a fifth game. Just an absolute dogfight on both sides here. I mean, shout out to Holy Juan on Namor there. I mean, just doing it there. It looked like Team Moon Knight had it in the bag. You could see their faces. They're a little bit stunned. You know, they're in disbelief. I think they thought they had that one in the bag, but somehow Team Iron Man was able to pull it out of the bag miraculously and push this one to a decider, Game 5. Look at Team Iron Man. They are so hyped up and so amped up right now.
As they should be. That was probably the greatest game I've seen so far today, just simply because of how hard it is to have 2 holds where you only have 1 point as well. That's unreal. Shout out to everybody. What a finals this is so far, as we will get to Game 5 shortly. But man, I don't really even know. I'm at a loss for words right now. You would have thought it was the beginning of the end, but I made a comment earlier, Evan, on what Team Iron Man has looked like in the face of adversity before and how they can pull themselves back out of that grave, and they've certainly risen to the occasion.
Well, my prediction in pregame is looking pretty good now.
It is looking pretty
What
good.
did I say? I said it was going to go the distance, and sure enough, we are here in Game 5. I mean, like, it really could go either way. I mean, like, it seems like momentum is such a finicky thing, right? Like, it goes to Team Moon Knight, then all of a sudden Team Iron Man just finds a way to get right back into it, you know, whether it's winning that team fight or using that, you know, somebody's ultimate correctly here. But just what an absolute banger of a final series we have. Game 5, going to be domination, you know, the shortest, you know, or the fastest mode, you could say. So it's going to be whoever can take very quickly. You have to be very aggressive in these domination modes, and that's exactly what we're going to see on both sides. I think both sides here, they've really found what works for him. It's going to be domination on Hell's Heaven, probably the best domination point as well here. So we're going to get some interesting picks as well, because now you're going to have to be playing for, you know, you have to be on offense and defense so quickly.
Well, you couldn't have written it any better. Evan, to be here casting this with you, it's been an honor, and it's been one hell of a ride, but we have one more station to go, Hell's Heaven domination, and this is going to be where things get very interesting, because I'm not going to lie here, I'm thinking about now, if you're Team Iron Man, when we're talking about Eyes of Agamotto on domination, they're so strong, you would think maybe you have to ban it, but I'm not going to lie, I don't blame them for not switching it up. I can already tell you, the lock's going to happen on Luna. There's no shot we see a change on that. And if you are Team Iron Man, you found the answer. You need to ban that Spider-Man. You need to ban all of the dive. That's
Absolutely.
all it is.
No, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a very similar ban setup to what we've seen before. I mean, yeah, exactly like I said, calling that Spider-Man ban out pretty much like we had thought. It's a given. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Hela getting banned here, or Namor potentially, with how good Theo was on Namor in the last one. But again, it's like, well, they're a group they're going to be taking out.
You know what? That's different, but I'm not going to lie, I like it. Force John to have to kind of pick a little bit of an off-tank and at least maybe have to confirm the two from Team Iron Man. But if I'm John right now and it's domination, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see John working into a penny here.
That's
it wouldn't
exactly what I
surprise
was
me
thinking.
at all. We see the switch in the lineup come through. There's no way we see the Mantis chosen. There's no shot you go with one tank lineup here. They actually have. So you know what? Team Iron Man, they've switched it up, but could this be their undoing? Only time will tell, but that time begins right now as we get into Game 5. I gotta say it right now, this has been absolutely incredible, but there is no more time to wait. We've been here for so long. These teams have been here for so long. They've gone through ups. They've gone through downs. They've gone through blunders, and they've definitely seen more than their fair shares of glory. But only one victor can remain victorious. And Evan, we are going to find out very shortly. I'm so pumped for this.
I have to say, I'm the same way. I don't think I can wait any longer. I'm on the edge of my proverbial seat.
Let's go.
Smoke, let's just get into it right now as both teams enter this 5th game here. We're going to see some more portal action from Spooky here. This isn't, you know, a strange thing for them. You know, we like to see these portal plays, you know, very often here, just getting right onto the point, getting set up very quickly here. Spooky getting into that, trying to lead the charge into that front line. Jeff Freak, he is on Bucky again. A kidnap from the side of Ethan. Doesn't get anything going. No picks going through just yet. That's a Loki clone going down, not the real one now, as Team Moon Knight looking to cap point first.
You have the Luna combo with the Holy Juan, but something that a lot of people I'm sure aren't really even thinking about is the fact that the Mantis can pop the Inspire onto Frog Ethan on the Wolverine, and if he can get a successful kidnap with that Inspire active, you gotta think that might be Spooky's undoing. However, Team Moon Knight, they have to be aware of this, and they've countered it out for now very well. Very interesting to see as they stand strong for now.
This is a great hold so far. I mean, I don't think Team Iron Man has had any picks go through. Moon Knight has been just playing absolutely perfect right now. Spooky and Jeff Freak doing so good on the front line here, trying to block out all these entrance points. Spectrum looking for a couple picks of his own on the flank, trying to get that high ground and make sure that Team Iron Man, Team Iron Man definitely very passive so far, not
This
really
is not
committing.
working for them.
No, it's not working out for them indeed here. They need to start committing to an aggressive push, but look at how much space that Team Moon Knight is giving them. They're not giving them any chance to get near that point here, as now
Huge from Theo.
some picks from Team Iron Man are falling through as now they attempt to get onto this point. That's another pick for the Holy Juan. He is going absolutely crazy right now with mental, but you do have some ults to work with for Team Moon Knight.
Again, you know what? The Holy Juan, he's the one who leads the charge with the Mantis as well. It worked out beautifully, trying to just hunt down this Bucky. Can he find it? Yes, eventually it comes through with the help of Tekken John on that Doctor Strange. We've seen them switch up roles before, but now, more importantly than ever, we have Daniil on that Luna Snow, and last time he was there, they did become victorious.
Yeah, he has, like you said, he was so excited to play Luna Snow.
Didn't even realize he had the
He
whole
didn't
day
even
to
realize
stand
it.
out.
But he's just so excited to play it, as, Luna Snow really is the difference maker in a lot of these team fights.
gotta be
Now,
an Eye Agamotto.
more ults coming out here, like you're calling it, the Eye of Agamotto coming out. The Vishanti's power has been unleashed as a big whale from Spectrum coming down onto the playing field, and there's another Eye of Agamotto
Oh my
coming
God,
out.
4 people.
They got 4
Look at
people.
that, they're just gonna all
the
race
point.
through.
Look at all that red in the kill feed as Team Iron Man hitting that spray right after two is John. Team Iron Man holding against that aggressive push from Team Moon Knight here, is now Team Moon Knight looking to stall and reassess, adjust, and plan for their next team fight, which is going to happen via this portal.
I was going to say, immediately you have to jump in. This is probably going to be it. You see how the percentage is gaining. You have to contest immediately. If it all falls through, there's not going to be very much that you can do as the Mantis ult and the Luna ult goes down. In fact, if you have an ult, you gotta burn it. But look at the Loki. He can replicate another Luna ult. Right now, if I was to bet on longevity, you would think that it would be Team Moon Knight, but that's not what's happening. Mr. Oz is down for the count, and this point is almost definitely going to be secured by Team Iron Man. You fought through the depths. You were 2-1 down, and all of a sudden, you could find yourself 1 point away from Hell's Heaven, from winning the entire damn thing.
Somehow they just found a way to lock in and just get all that, that negativity. They just found a way to use it as an outlet to get themselves in a position to win here. 1 point away. Team Moon Knight on the ropes here. How will they respond to this adversity? We're going to see how it happened here. It all started with Moon Knight, Team Moon Knight really being in possession here, but Team Iron Man off the back of that big Nimor ult from Holy Juan, just getting Team Iron Man in a position where they could recapture the point. They were able to stagger out Team Moon Knight long enough to distract them and, just get all these ults in staggered positions here and just hold out huge Eye of Agamottos on both sides.
I was going to say, you're about to see the best one. Well, you were from John, but we can't even have the time right now because it's domination. We got to get right back into it, and here we go. Could this be the final resting place for Team Moon Knight, undefeated previously, facing adversity? Or could this be the Cinderella story of Team Iron Man? We saw them so down in the dumps early. They lost. We're on the losing end of a 2-1. It wasn't looking good, but this is where legends are made. The Iron Man comes out from Jeff Freak, and let's see what he can do with it.
Interesting pick. Did not expect to see Iron Man on this site here, but let's see what Jeff Freak can cook up with Tony Stark himself. the patron of Team Iron Man and being used for Team Moon Knight. Let's see what he can cook up here. Here's Spectrum sticking with Namor. It was working for him last time, and here is that Loki ult coming out, electing to... Who did he switch to? I couldn't even see who he swapped to. Who did he decide to copy?
He didn't decide to copy anyone. Look at Mr. Oz. There was nothing there. He still has the ultimate in pocket, so it didn't get used unless now Betterson McGee just did it. Sorry, I was looking at the other side. That's who he was talking about. I thought you were talking about Mr. Oz for a second. But there was just so much happening on the screen that I didn't even notice that. With the Loki, that's massive because, look, you now have level playing fields with both teams. They have 2 Lunas in pocket. The kidnap on the Iron Man, such a defined feat of skill, but it's too much damage going out. I don't think the Wolverine can survive it. Jarvis, clean up that Canadian, and that's exactly what he's gone and done.
Done and dusted from the side of Team Moon Knight. Look at Spectrum here, a quad kill to retake control for Team Moon Knight, and another assist for the road here. As it looks like Team Moon Knight definitely not dead yet. They have shown this fight, this last minute fight. Now you have 4 ults to work with on the side of Team Moon Knight. They are ready for any push that Team Iron Man is going to throw at them.
Well, I gotta say, this one is boiling down to the thick of it. I could totally see this one going all the way to the final resting point, that map 3 of this domination game, but who knows, the Luna ult goes down, and all of a sudden Spectrum picking up where he left off. Give him a double. There's the ult as well. Jarvis strikes again. Give him another. It's DPS Central right now, and Team Moon Knight are running wild.
They are absolutely running wild, like you said, and didn't even expend a lot of ults there. They still have 3 ults in their pocket to prepare for the next team push that Team Iron Man is going to run with here. Team Iron Man got that Mantis ult, got that Eye of Agamotto. Holy Juan is just about to get his as well. I'd like to see Theo lead with his ult, maybe combo that with the Eye of Agamotto to get that extra damage, but we are going to see a Spectrum is sort of outdueling him with Namor in this one. Absolutely insane here. And Jeff Freak managing to take or deal with that Wolverine here, that pesky Canadian, as he's just not really able to do as much as he could be doing right now.
The ult economy as well. I mean, this is definitely, if I had to make a prediction going to map 3, I know it's not done yet, but you have 2 Luna ults to work off of, and I have Agamotto and Namor for CC. There is so much here that Team Moon Knight can lie back and rely on, but they have to do it quickly. The Namor ult goes through. Who's going to fall first? Spectrum. He's been simply great in this match, this entire series, as his team goes ahead in man count. He picks up another, give him a third. The multi-kills are almost like his middle name at this point, and he is just running rampant overtime. I don't even think they're going to be able to touch. We're going all the way. Give it to Game 5, but give it to map 3 of Game 5 as well. It's going the longest distance it could have possibly been asked for. And Evan, I couldn't have had it any other way.
I mean, I think we knew this was going to happen. I mean, once we saw it get to Game 5, we knew that this series was going the distance. That's exactly what we're seeing, and we're going to see how we got there. This was the story of Team Moon Knight's DPS's Jeff Freak and Spectrum leading the charge, doing it all for them. I mean, Spectrum outdueling the Holy Juan on Namor, winning that mirror match. And again, we were sort of criticizing Jeff Freak's swap to Iron Man for this round, but look at what he was able to do. He was able to deal with his #1 problem, the Wolverine, able to get those ults when he needed to do, using that Unibeam to his advantage in those close quarters. And again, the ult economy, the ult management on the side of Team Moon Knight, just so much better in this case. Not even have to expend too much, and having those ults in pocket for all of those team fights. It all comes down to this. Game 5, map 3 of the grand finals. Here we go.
The Holy Juan on Hela is definitely my point that I want to make here, especially on domination, such a game mode where that ult can literally do wonders for everybody. And as we keep going onwards, we will see if their work of labors has come into fruition. But as the area unlocks, as of right now, it's going to be Team Moon Knight who are the first ones to try to establish a foothold. Percent building, and these are the last ones that you're going to see in this Nexus Showdown. Whose game is it going to be? Only time will tell. Spectrum has to play this very carefully. 84 health, down to 14, and it seems like just as quickly as they had to take point, they need to also withdraw in haste.
Yeah, you can't overcommit, right? Like, I know this is like tense situation. You know, you want to make sure you finish all your kills, but you have to make sure that you're not overcommitting and overextending, because that is just as bad as going down in a team fight here. Jeff Freak couldn't finish that kill against the Holy One, having to retreat. That Luna Snowball is going to save the members of Team Iron Man from all this DPS here, but Team Moon Knight does have a couple ults to work with as well here. You'd expect to hear there is that Namor ult coming out, not finding any purchase, but there is Holy Juan with that Hell ult, absolutely massive. Oh my goodness! Finding both supports with that ult, finding a third. That's Spooky going down. That's a 4. That's a quad, baby. And that is going to be Team Iron Man taking that point and starting to get their capture progress up.
Well, you know what the problem is Jeff Freak, you're on Iron Man, but you're also having to out-duel a Hela, and it just isn't working. Now with point control, I get it, 52%, that's pretty good. But you also look, they can now take the next team fight to build ultimate charge. And yes, there's not really much that you can look to get rid of here, but for Team Moon Knight, it's just so back and forth. You have a team with all the ults on in the world, and then you're met with only a team with an Eye of Agamotto. The first pick comes through, Spooky. He's been so consistent on that Strange, making Team Iron Man feel every bit of force that he lays upon them. Jeff Freak with 1. He's going to look for this Loki, hunting him down, just barely escaping via the clones. But they've taken repossession, and it's right now, it's now or never right now for Team Iron Man. They need to push 70% looming. They have maybe 2 team fights left if they're lucky.
If they're lucky, I think what they really need to do is they're going to try and set up an Eye of Agamotto play from John. That is really going to be the catalyst for this team fight, and that is
Spectrum!
That is a Spectrum! Oh my goodness, saving the day for Team Moon Knight here. Absolutely massive.
Double
Jeff
from
Freak,
Jeff!
Jarvis, clip that double kill. He finds another one, and Spooky taking out John on Doctor Strange. You have to think that was the last team fight.
I think that's it.
I think that has to be it, unless Team Iron Man can get back. They cannot. Spectrum taking out Holy Juan. Jarvis, clip that one too. That's going to be it. Team Moon Knight are your Nexus Showdown champions. What an absolutely incredible display of sportsmanship and gamesmanship. Very, very well done on all sides.
Spectrum, you freak of nature. What did you eat today, my man? It's just absolutely insane. You see the look of shock and anguish across the faces of Team Iron Man, but they fought tooth and nail every step of the way. We even thought they were going to have it down pat. They had the momentum, but it just simply couldn't be done. When Spectrum locked in on Namor, however you want to pronounce it, there was simply nothing they could do. The Hela was not enough to counter out Jeff Freak to the point where it was unplayable. The ult came through at the very end. It confirmed the last 2. But oh my god, if it's a story to tell from this tournament, it's simply the story of Jeff Freak and Spectrum going stupid on the DPS.
I was just going to say, what an excellent story this Team Moon Knight is. I mean, like we were mentioning, such a discrepancy in skill levels. None of these players had really played together. It took a little bit of time for them to gel together as a unit, and then once it clicked, it just clicked, and they were running off of pure vibes and off the back of Spectrum and Spooky's play. And shout out to everybody on this team for filling all those holes. Mr. Oz, Henzo, Hayes, Jeff Freak, all of them played exceptionally well. Just absolutely perfect rivals here, you know, especially against a very worthy opponent in Team Iron Man, who are definitely not a slouch.
You know what the thing is as well, I know we don't talk about it enough, and oftentimes even in the regular Marvel Rivals community it doesn't get talked about as much as it should when you have DPSs that are popping off like this. What's the reason they're even able to make these plays work? It's because they have the health to do so from none other than their healers. Their support staff is everything when it comes to enabling the entire team, let alone the tank. Spooky has put on an absolute clinic this entire series, this entire day, and it's only done from the fact that it is the unshown stars, the supports that come through, the supports of Miguel, the Platinum, the 2 bronze players on their team, right? Like, Frost, Henzo, these are players with not a whole lot of experience, but they've proven that with the right mentors in Jeff Freak, Spooky, and Spectrum, they can talk about their team, talk about what they need to work on, and combine as a unit it was really just a class in session for these young support mains who definitely, as they came in as bronze players, will be going back with their world opened up to what they can do.
Absolutely. The sky is absolutely the limit for this team Moon Knight. I mean, like, if you look at the spread here, I mean, Spectrum 33-5, just carrying so hard on that Namor, just so special. He is absolutely the MVP. Look at it, his vibes have hit infinity squared.
Can you even infinity? I don't know if you can do that. Does it even matter?
It doesn't even matter. The vibes are through the roof here. 33 kills, 5 deaths, 6 assists, and 1 very insane level of vibes going on for Spectrum. I mean, what more could you say about it? But we're gonna hear directly from Spectrum himself, the man with infinity vibes squared. Spectrum, congratulations on winning the Nexus Showdown. All of the members of Team Moon Knight just put on an absolute clinic. What's going through your mind right now?
So, as a prize, do they need to sign up? The whole team is hype about this. Yeah.
Like you said, the whole team is hyped about it. That's really all you need to say. I mean, walk us through talking about Namor, however you want to say it. I mean, that really was the big difference maker. How did you just lock in like that? You know that Holy Juan was also sort of dueling with a Namor of his own here. What did you guys really talk about in order to swap to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing special. They banned my Psylocke, so I gotta pick my second best hero, which is Namor. I mean, I'm giving the enemy Namor, so.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, man.
I was going to say, I want to hear about the discussion because this is the first time tonight where we saw a team actually realize, okay, you know what, maybe Spooky isn't the problem to contest. Maybe we have to just ban both of their dive characters, and that way we can actually have a shot. And I'm not going to lie, however you want to paint that picture, that is definitely how it went down. Because Team Iron Man, they were in it till the very end. I will say you guys definitely pulled off a dominant finish on Hell's Haven, or Hell's Heaven, sorry. But what was the discussion going into it once you did see that your dive was taken out? What was sort of the game plan after you realized you would have had to backpedal?
I mean, it's not that much. We just need to ban the Magneto, which is the main problem for us. We just need to take the Magneto up, and then we won.
Sometimes it's as simple as that.
It's
you know what?
It's simple as banning Magneto. That's
you know
all you
what,
gotta do, man.
He hit infinite vibes. I mean, what do you want to say?
Squared vibes.
Infinite squared vibes. I will say, Spectrum, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch you guys cook today. You know, we saw that early in the day on Team Moon Knight. Your supports, they're not the highest of rank, they're not the most experienced, but what was the conversation like after you lost the first point on your round robin to really lock in? What did you go over with them in order to find a way to click despite the rank disparity and despite maybe the lack of game knowledge or understanding in going into such strats?
We just taught the Cloak and Dagger how to play Cloak and Dagger, and that's it. That's pretty much it.
Wow, I mean, congratulations again, like we said. Now that you're done, is there anything you want to say to the folks at home who are watching on stream?
No, really.
Damn.
All right, not really. All right,
you know what,
sorry, Twitch audience, you're not getting much out of that. Spectrum, thank you very much. We will let you go. Hard-fought victory. Once again, congratulations.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for me and you, Evan. You know what? I got to say it right now. That was easily one of the most fun times I've had casting the entire time that I've been here. This was so back and forth. It was absolutely being fought for tooth and nail. Shout out to every team competing here today in the Rival Showdown. Shout out Wyatt and the crew for throwing this thing as first years. You guys are amazing. The fact that you were able to put this together, unbelievable. And shout out the broadcast team, especially in the back. Shout out Owen. I honestly, there's so many people to name out. I want to say Owen, Hayden, Adrian. I know I'm blanking right now, but I believe
I think Kale is back
there.
there.
There's Kale back there.
Kale's back there. Wallace is back there.
Yeah.
If we're forgetting
Quinn as well, right? The camera guy.
If it's been a long night and we forget one of your names, we apologize, but you absolutely are in that conversation. But Patrick, Smoke, before we go, I think you have a big event that you need to shout out. Real quick,
there is. So again, you know what? If you guys like this, you liked watching Marvel Rivals, and you liked watching me on stream, Well, we have an event to shout out. This is No Man's
There it
Land.
is.
It's coming back. Rivals will be a game featured in it, as well as PUBG and Valorant and Smash Bros. Ultimate, to name a few more. It happens on March 29th. Sign up, scan the QR code. If you see posters around campus, make sure you sign up there as well. Join our Discord. $2,000 plus total prize pools, which will be announced very shortly. And man, I cannot wait for that one.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. I'm expecting to see you on the desk. I want you to play in the tournament and cast too, if that's even possible. What are you gonna sign up for?
Well, seeing as how I'm literally helping run the event, I don't think I'm going to be signing up for very much. But what I will say is, it would not be a surprise to see me maybe contributing, maybe as a host or something like that. I don't know. It's still a long time away, but make sure that you sign up and you show out, because it is going to be one hell of a LAN. So thank you so much to everyone who watched the stream. Thank you to our sponsors, the SRC, the SEC alumni, Alienware, Tim Hortons, and Subway, for letting us do what we do. I already gave a shout out to the back room, but another one, thank you guys again for letting us yap. It's been me, Patrick Smoke Chambers, and
Evan, not really Evan Johnson.
And we will be signing out until next time. And tune in tomorrow for SGS Smash.